Chappelle Show, the greatest sketch comedy show on earth.
I got them right there, season 1 and 2 on DVD.
I was watching a little YouTube clip the other day about how popular those DVDs were.
Yeah, it made so much money.
Yeah, it was like only second to, or those were the most popular ones, and like Family Guy was the second one. And
that's
like,
wild about Family Guy. Like, people forget that show had one season and got canceled, and then it was off the air for like 3 years, but the DVDs of that one season sold so, like, became like a cult hit.
Yeah.
That they brought the show back, and then it became what it is today. Like,
crazy.
But I remember when it was just like, oh my god, this show is so fun. There was just this one season, this weird ass show. It's so funny, and it was like an underground thing almost, and then it just became so fucking huge.
I think Family Guy too was like originally supposed to air on Cartoon Network or like
something like that. Yeah,
maybe it did for the first season.
They played it on Adult Swim for a few years after it got canceled, which was another contributing factor to like.
Right.
That's where I watched that in another video too, about how like it triple digit increase like the viewership on Adult Swim just because Family Guy was replaying on it.
Damn.
Oh, welcome everyone to another episode of Jake's Couch. I mean the goods.
Welcome to the Jittering podcast. Yo.
Oh my god, you pulled that out of nowhere.
So loud. Right in the mic. Right in the mic.
Imagine if those, I mean, I know Mark tried to make a comeback with those. Were you around for that, Jake?
Yeah, I got this one at Worlds 05, which was like the first time anyone saw them. But yeah, Mark made like the titanium ones.
Yeah.
And
they were popular during the yo-yo boom. Not popular, but like they were trying to like get other toys to pop with yo-yos, and that was one of them. I don't know why.
Which yo-yo boom?
The 90 like
no, oh really?
Yeah,
I never saw him until that one Worlds. I think it was the same Worlds where Throw-Dough came, which was the rubber pizzas.
That was the year after. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was around the same though.
You should ask Dookie about Throw-Yo next time.
Throw-Dough?
Yeah, he brought his Throw-Dough to Nats this past.
Yeah, he still has one.
Incredible.
It's gotta be so grimy, dude.
No, he's tight with. I think it's Lori. From
he keeps
Throw-Dough.
it clean. Okay.
The fact that you even know someone's name from Throw-Dough is insane.
Wow.
When he was telling us one time, he's like, yeah, they were going to have like Throw-Dough Worlds in Italy. Like, what the fuck? Like, not laughing at Dookie, but just laughing at the concept of, imagine if like
of
Worlds
a fake pizza dough in Italy.
Yeah, like every year Worlds for Yo-Yo was in the Philippines. Like,
yeah, Throw-Dough is crazy. For anyone who does, it was rubber pizza dough that you threw in the air, like when people are making a pizza, but it was just rubber.
And then you do tricks.
So like they would like grind it over their arms and stuff, but you know it's not real pizza dough, so it's like inherently less impressive, but it's still impressive. Like, but it's just different. It's just weird because it's not real dough. You
it's
know
so
what I mean?
Weird. Every year at Worlds they tried to get another hack toy to tack on to Worlds, just be like, just give us like $5,000 to sponsor the event.
Yeah, so there was like they were selling them at Worlds, and there's a guy did like a demo every day, like on the World stage, like throwing the Throw-Dough around,
tossing the dough, boys. There was a guy that Kurti and I worked with at this carnival thing for Yo-Yo Expert, and he had like a Throw-Dough type toy, but it was like a sewn Palestinian scarf, basically. Like one of those like handkerchief thing. It's not Palestinian, but you know what I mean. Those things that were popular with hipster douchebags in like 2007 and now
the like light silky neck scarf.
Yeah, but like it was one of those, but like two sewn together and then weighted. Then he was just doing the same tricks as Throw-Dough, but
like
with
each end
thing.
Was weighted, or the whole thing had weight to it.
I think each
it was
like
giant too. It was like pretty fucking big.
So was it like kind of like poi? You spun it around,
you
or
could use it to waddle a child? Yeah,
like,
I mean, no, it was like literally like Throw-Dough,
spinning
in the air, like he was doing like behind.
He did the same
spins
trick, like
and,
throwing it over his shoulders. And
I can picture that
shit.
now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's just fabric Throw-Dough instead of rubber.
That guy was very funny. He was like. He was harmless and he was great. He's like the exact kind of guy you want to work with at those events, because he would just like go up to random. He was a kendama player, and it's like, I don't know how many kendama players you've hung out with, but like the ones who are big personalities in the community are always like very overzealous about kendama. They're trying to get everyone possible to kendama. Like they're the opposite of yo-yo events, where it's like if someone new comes to a yo-yo event or like someone's girlfriend is
Stare
like,
'em
"What
down.
is this? What's going on?" Yeah, or like don't even acknowledge their presence.
exactly.
He like anybody who looked at him for longer than like 5 seconds, he would like take their hand, put a kendama in, and be like, "Try to spike,
Have
do
you
a
ever tried the
spike.
kendama?
Can you
Yeah,
do a
yeah, yeah.
spike?" Like, look, it's real easy. He would just like scare people away, and it was like, bro, just take it easy. Like people who want to buy stuff are gonna buy stuff. Like you should be a salesman, but only after you're for sure someone is interested. Not like
Didn't some kids steal kendamas from your booth the day I came up to that event, the
Yeah.
outdoor festival? Some kids
Yeah.
stole some shit and then they like stashed it like
oh
in
yeah.
the booth. What did they
Forgot about
steal?
that.
I forget what they stole. I don't think
Like
it was
a
you.
die-cast car from like
Yeah.
another booth. I think he did steal something from our booth too, or he was thinking.
I think he
about
took
It
a
was a
kendama.
kendama,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that was
it
fucked
It
up.
was mostly
But you
about the
caught
cars.
him, right? You
Yeah.
like caught him. Kurti was like walking away, and Kurti's like, "Hey, bro, what's that? What you got in your
Yeah.
hand, bro?" Like,
He was so
Like,
stoked
oh,
up
I-
that he got away with it.
I thought
yeah.
I paid for it. My bad.
I think I just like saw him looking sus, and like I went 2 booths over. I was like, I
Oh
noticed
yeah,
there was
you
a kendama
found it
missing.
stashed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just found it like stashed, wedged in between the counter.
Also, what a crazy ploy! Like, if you're gonna steal something, steal it and like go
get
somewhere
the
else.
fuck
with
out
it.
of there, yeah.
Like don't put it in another booth. And
They
come
were
back
Oh,
with
they
it.
had shit stashed all over the whole fair. Definitely. Like,
Yeah.
they were running a whole operation out there.
We
Yeah.
tried to find whose diecast toy car it was, but I couldn't find. It was one of those like cheap toy booths on like the other side of the carnival. But that was crazy. Before we get too far into the podcast, I want to plug. What'd you say?
Oh, you can just like hear the honky tonk going right now.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
I want to plug a number that you can call to leave a question for the next pod. If you want to call 1-863-732-9696. So 863-732-9696. If you didn't catch on, it's yo-yo. It's 863-732-YoYo.
Yep.
You can call and leave us a message, and we will listen to your questions next week, or if there's too many, pick a select few. But if they suck, we maybe won't play any. I left a fun one on there today to test it out, so we won't listen to that one on the air. But we can listen to it after the pod.
Yes.
So yeah, give us
call
a
in.
call. Call in, leave a yo-yo question about whatever you want to ask, about how you can get sponsored by Yo-Yo Factory.
Yomega. Yomega's sponsoring, hiring right now.
Are they really?
Damn.
Yeah, they just got put a couple new people on the team.
Who?
I don't know if I can say, bro.
Oh my god! Who did you discover this from?
The kid who joined told me.
Oh
The
god!
guy who joined.
Tell me
the
after the
kid.
pod.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I was gonna say it. And I'll
Is
bleep
it
out,
Joe?
but I'll never do that.
Joe?
There's like this dude, Joe Lacerda from New York.
Oh yeah.
I think he's been on the
Oh,
team,
the 2A
though.
guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think he's been on Yomega.
I think he's
I
been
think
on,
he
yeah.
was on. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool that they're like doing something.
Yeah, I think
a little
Dan
more
Dietz
modern,
has a
yeah.
yo-yo coming out with them, like a metal yo-yo.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. They're trying. It's kind of weird how like behind they are though. Like remember when the Zodis came out?
Yeah.
And that was like a 1999 level yo-yo that came out in like 2004. It was like an Aquarius size bearing, starburst, like rubber rim. It's just like funny. They're always like 10 years behind.
Yeah.
Everything,
Even
everyone else. Like it's not hard to make a good yo-yo now.
No.
Yet,
You could literally just hit up one of the Chinese factories and they would probably
and they just designed the whole thing top
give you
to
a
bottom.
throwaway design. Be like, oh yeah.
It's just kind of wild that Yomega has like the Stone Cold Classic 2A yo-yos, and then they've never really had a. I mean, Hyper Warp Wing had like a moment, I guess, sort of,
I mean,
but
it was only because of like
Justin Weber,
And
yeah,
even then,
and
it's
he
like-
modified the shit
That's what
out
I was
of
gonna
them.
say.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like the stock one. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. They did come out with one yo-yo. I forget what it was. The Dasher or the Tracer or something like that.
Dasher sounds right. It
And
was
it
a
was
metal
like
yo-yo.
these rubber plugs that were the response system. You remember
Crossfire?
this?
No, Crossfire was the squishy yo-yo.
Yeah, that one made no
Yeah.
sense. Except for it was kind of cool that it had a permanent rubber response system. But this one had like little rubber gaskets that were just like circular that popped
Mhm.
into the gap, and like it worked like really well. And the yo-yo played pretty good. And like I remember it being really smooth for the time. And it was like, damn. But like very soon after, everyone quit. I think this was literally like while the Bape and Eats It and Pyro and everything were coming out. And
Right.
then, like the next year they like didn't pay for world sponsorship and just invited everyone up to their hotel room.
Yeah, that was wild.
And then the whole team quit. Everyone was like, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like companies do way worse shit now, and it's like no one cares.
I know.
Like, ugh.
What happened to Spin Top Worlds? Do they still do Spin Tops at Worlds?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. Who wins that shit now?
Like,
It's Matt Ritter won like every year when we were young.
There's like a bunch of dudes who come up from like Colombia for it.
Oh, that's right.
I always
yeah.
feel bad because like nobody ever watches it, and it's like I know that was probably like a $900, $1,000 flight, something wild, and like not like you do that to come up here and have people watch you. You come up for the title, but it's just like, damn, bro.
People used to watch. It used to be like in a good slot at Worlds. It was
Yeah.
at like night,
People
know.
kind of used to watch everything at Worlds, but I
Yeah.
don't know what happened to it now with the scheduling where it's like we got to do 2A first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that shit is wild, bro. 4A's in the morning too. It's like all in the
And it's not even like that many people are in 1A. Like it's not like they have 50 people in 1A and they need a 6-hour time slot. It's just like I don't know. I really do not know why the scheduling is the way it is. And every year people just keep saying like, "Oh, bring back the workshops, bring back the breakouts, bring back this."
No one would go probably though.
I bet
Even
they
if they did. I hope they
would
do.
if it was promoted the right way.
Right,
And like
yeah.
I don't know.
If you ran a 5A breakout, people would go.
Yeah,
For sure.
No, that's true. It's also just like those things aren't promoted well. You know what I mean? Like from contests. I don't know. I talk with a lot of NYYL board members, of which I am not a member of. A lot of NYYL board members.
You're a shadow member.
Yeah, that's like the main point of contention is just like they all agree. It's like we need better marketing and promotions and social media presence, and it's just a thankless job that no one wants to take on, which I don't blame them, but
Yeah.
I've seen more interest in people running contests than ever before, though. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who want to run events. Anyway, Drake versus Kendrick. What do you think, Kurti? Who's winning right now?
I mean, now it's clearly Kendrick, I think. But I know I texted you the first night, like 10 minutes after it, and you're like, "Yo, Team Drake all day." So how do you feel about that now? I'm curious.
I'm still Team Drake minus the allegation.
Okay, all right.
Miss me with that shit. But I don't know. Like one of the best lyrics during the Nas versus Jay-Z battle was when Nas called Jay-Z a Tybo ho. Remember?
Tabo ho. Well, I used to know all the lyrics.
Like you're 40 years old taking a karate class.
Yeah.
You Tybo ho.
Yeah.
And it's like he did take karate classes, and it's like just calling someone a Tybo ho is very funny. And it's like Kendrick is like too highbrow for that battle. You know what I mean? Like he's almost shooting below his weight class.
That's what I thought from the beginning.
It
I
would
was
be
like,
like
I can't believe he's even addressing any of this.
It would be like Adele and Britney Spears going at it or something, and it's like Britney Spears is like they're both very big stars, but it's like Adele makes like amazing highbrow art quality music, and then Britney Spears just makes like crazy studio pop. And same thing with Drake and Kendrick. Like I don't know. No one listened to like How to Pimp a Butterfly and was like, damn, this is fire. Like it was really good, but it was like a very politically charged record, and people let it digest over a period of time. Like people listen to the Drake record one time, and then it's like, all right, this is great, or it's garbage. Like
yeah, I think I said why is he even addressing this? And it made me feel like maybe it is like they're on the same label, aren't they? Like it could be no? Or the same music group or something, UMG or something. No,
they might all be. I have no idea.
I think they're all under UMG, maybe. Regardless, like UMG, it could still be.
They own like 40% of the music industry or something like that.
Well, then that's but it could still be like
a publicity ploy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Know,
but then that was earlier. I thought.
Yeah, okay.
But then it got after that last
Deeply
Kendrick
personal,
song. It's like I don't think Drake would agree to that unless it was like built into that newer contract he signed. That like you're gonna have to do this with Kendrick. He has a new album coming out. We want to like do this Jay-Z Nas type style thing, and you're just gonna whatever comes.
It is
massive. And maybe he signed off on that. And like just didn't expect Kendrick to take it that far.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah.
But I don't.
Kendrick,
maybe I'm crazy. But
he now has the largest single day Spotify streaming record for a hip hop song.
And
Kendrick.
it's that, and he knocked Drake's song off. Drake had the record before, and now Drake, it literally is calling him a pedophile. Like that sucks that song has that achievement behind it. Like
Yeah.
that's just embarrassing. Like it's definitely gotta be. I don't care how like confident and rich he is. Like that shit's gotta be like goddamn.
Getting
like,
at him. Oh,
that's
yeah,
gotta
of
hurt,
course.
man.
Yeah, of
like
course it
people
does.
dancing and like literally hate like wanting you to die. Like
Right.
Kendrick
yeah.
literally said he should die. Like I don't know. That shit is it like didn't even rhyme. It was just like you should die.
Yeah.
I think people like you should die.
Yeah. That used to be one of my best like lowbrow insults to people. Is like you're gonna die and no one's gonna miss you.
Yeah,
It's a gnarly thing to say to
it's
someone.
so
like,
crazy.
and just hammer it home and be like, no, like no one's gonna come to your funeral. Like
Yeah.
you won't be buried alone. Like what a wild insult to say to. I've said it to like only 2 or 3 people ever, but
Yeah.
it's always a very funny thing to pull out of the crypt. Like you're gonna die and no one's gonna miss you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe they'll do a big forgiveness tour together, where they
I saw Kendrick on tour. And
hug on stage.
I
You
saw him
Kendrick.
and
That's pretty
Kanye
cool.
together.
Damn,
literally in
bro.
like 2011, whenever Good Kid, Mad City
Goddamn.
came out. Yeah,
That's cool.
amazing concert. Like if he wasn't performing with Kanye, he probably would have definitely outperformed whoever was the headliner. But like that was the tour when Kanye could like. I don't know if you've ever seen the footage, but he brings like the MPC, the music processing machine, out onto the stage, and then he just hits one note of Runaway, just the
Yeah.
and then everyone's like, oh shit, he's gonna do Runaway, he's gonna do Runaway. And he goes over and hits it again, just walks around the stage like all
Wow.
chest pumped out and shit. Yeah.
That was the Dark Twisted Fantasy tour.
No, it was the Yeezus tour, so the one after that.
Okay.
Yeah. But he played a lot of the songs off of that, and it was crazy because like he was going on. It was like the original. Since Kanye has been popular, he's always been doing rants. You know what I mean? No matter what the venue. Chris Brown just had a funny interview this last week where he didn't name Kanye, but he was like, there's video of this happening where like everyone's at a club and they're playing like the new Chris Brown song that just went #1 or whatever, and everyone's dancing and having a good time. And then Kanye comes out and like rips the aux cord out and then just like goes on like an hour-long rant or something.
Really?
Like in the middle
This
of a
was
club.
recently?
No, it was like 8 or 9 years
Oh,
ago or
okay,
something,
okay.
But
Gotcha.
the show that I went to, it was funny because all the other tour stops, like he was just ranting about like how good he is and how trash hip hop is otherwise and blah blah blah. Everyone was like, "Yeah, Kanye, yeah." And this one, he started talking about like the only time I've ever lost I've won 26 Grammys. The only time I've ever lost a Grammy was to a white artist. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be a race war in the stadium right now. It was like mad uncomfortable, and I was like,
Where was
oh,
the show? In Jersey or something?
It was in Phoenix. It was when I worked at
Oh,
the factory.
okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. It was kind of crazy because I'd never been to that venue before. My girlfriend at the time bought me tickets for my birthday, which is like still one of the best birthday gifts I've ever gotten. But
Yeah,
Was
that's
that after the when he went on air and said George hates
Oh,
me?
yeah.
Way
That was
after.
that.
yeah, that was
Okay, all right.
2005.
Five.
Yeah, it was almost 10 years after that. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
That was
yeah.
during Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, with fucking Austin Power.
His face looking at him is so
Mike
good.
Myers like, yeah, so good times. The week before that, my girlfriend's at the time's parents got tickets to Radiohead because they had like season tickets to the Diamondbacks, the baseball team in Phoenix, and like Radiohead was just sitting next to them. And I don't know if Tom York was there, if it was just other people in the band, but they were like, didn't know what the rules were to the game of baseball. And my girlfriend's parents just explained to them like, oh, when he hits it, he's got to run to the base.
Wow.
And that's how they get out. And then they're like, oh, you guys are so nice. He has tickets to our show next week. They're like, what the heck? Like, cool.
What the heck?
Like, do you guys know this band, Radio Face? Radiohead? It's like,
Radio
what?
Face.
Like, you met Radiohead?
Yeah, Johnny gave us tickets.
Johnny. Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, hopefully, it's probably over now, the Kendrick Drake beef, I would guess.
I figure maybe Kendrick he'll probably have an album come out and maybe he'll like mention it a little more on there.
I'm sure there'll
and
still
Drake
be
will have an album come out and maybe
more
but
shots on
no
both
more
of them,
like singles dropping, I don't think.
Yeah. It has been a crazy 2-3 weeks for hip hop and streaming services, and it's just created. I wish one of the media sites would post about how much publicity this has caused music streaming platforms and everyone to accrue, because like you can't pay for that kind of publicity.
It was crazy. I looked at the last Kendrick song, the Not Like Us. I pulled it up on YouTube. It had been posted 50 minutes prior, and I did the math on the views. He was getting like 250,000 views a minute.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah,
that's just, maybe that happened. I don't pay attention to that kind, but like I just did it in that situation. I was like, I wonder how. That's crazy, and that seems like a lot. That's definitely a lot for anyone. I think even like
I think
top YouTubers probably don't get quite that.
Like Mr. Beast numbers, kind
of thing.
Yeah. But it's a mad dash once that thing comes out and it's on an official account, and it's like, okay, we all gotta go listen.
I found it interesting how he did like some on, or I guess Drake did some on Instagram. Kendrick did the 1 or 2 only on YouTube, and then the others only on Spotify.
That is
like
really
it was interesting how he
yeah.
chose. I don't know what thought process that, but it's just interesting seeing how media is now. Like I'm gonna drop this one on YouTube, and then this freestyle on Instagram, and then this music video on wherever.
It probably has something to do with like rights to the samples and the songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If they could get it cleared or not, and then they could post it on Spotify or whatever. Spotify pays like shit anyway, so one YouTube view I think is worth more than Spotify.
Yeah.
One Spotify listen anyway. So that could have been the reason why, to be honest. Kendrick just knew those last 2 were gonna pop off, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna put these on the platform we get paid the most off of. Like,
yeah.
And they'll eventually make it. You saw Alchemist produced the latest.
That
one?
Instagram post was awesome, where he posts the way he like announced that he made the beat was he just had the little MPC pad, and he like starts playing the beat, and he's just like shaking the, and it's just the instrumental of it.
Yeah.
But that's how he like said that.
I haven't seen it.
That he
dope,
that
though.
yeah, and people were just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be a crazy payday for him. Like,
yeah, honestly, that one's huge. And then the Mustard guy too, like that song, he did the like Not Like Us one.
Yeah, he's had a lot of big songs, DJ Mustard. So like, and Alchemist is like famous for not having his intellectual property.
He's like Action
rights.
Bronson's guy, isn't he? Mostly, or he does a lot of Action Bronson beats, I think.
Yeah, they've done a couple tapes together.
Yeah.
And then same with Wiz Khalifa and Currency. Alchemist has done a bunch of them, but it's because like he made a lot of music that was popular back in the 90s, but he just like took the straight out, like they gave him like 20 grand for the beat or whatever, instead of being like, all right, well here's $5,000 and you'll get 60% of the record because the song is 60% of the music, and then you'll get this amount of money every time a record sells. Like, he just didn't care. I was like, just give me the money now. Like, which in retrospect is crazy. He doesn't have any songs that are like huge like that Kendrick record is, but it's cool that he'll have a good one to his name now.
Yeah.
Get some guap off of that. Kurti, how do you feel about you revolutionizing the over the head genre of yo-yo tricks in recent history? I feel like you were for sure the one to do that, especially even if it's just you were the first one I saw like right before the pandemic do the like whip that catches the yo-yo overhead.
Yeah.
Where you like turn as it whips and then go over your head. Yeah.
Really? That's fucking crazy if that's kind of true, I guess. I never thought about that. So I really don't have much to say, I guess. But I feel like what I was doing was like, it's so like unevolved compared to what's going on today. Shit is insane. Like I think of did you see, what is it, like Jonathan's Tangang or whatever?
Oh, where is he from? The Philippines or some Pacific Rim country?
Maybe Indonesia. I don't know.
One
Yeah,
of those countries. Yeah.
He just did one the other day on Instagram that was like fucking like he caught it like behind his neck and like, oh my god, I don't know. The shit is just crazy. It's evolved a lot.
Yeah, no, it's dope. It's just, it's funny thinking that like Harold was the first guy to be doing those. You know what I mean? And it was like at the time it was just kind of like goofy. Not that because it's just like hard for the sake of being hard, you know what I mean? Like it's not really, I don't know. Even like the horizontal arm tricks or whatever now, like all the Eli hops and stuff. It's just like, oh, you're doing them sideways. Cool. Like, it is cool and it's genuinely very difficult, but it's just like hard for me to get over that it's purely for the sake of evaluation points of like variety and
some tricks definitely like make sense. And, like,
yeah, right. And
you
they
know,
look cool sideways or over the head and
what Herald trick are you talking about though? This was in his wedding routine.
yeah, he just does like an over the head trick.
Like double or
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
type,
Okay.
like maybe
It's
a
a
black
pretty
hop set.
simple combo, yeah, but it's and that was before variety was an evaluation score. It was just purely like I think tech was like 90% of your score and then 10% of your score. They were like, all right, how is this performance out of 10? Like,
Yeah, I
Shout out
had like
Harold.
the Nandaconda one too that I used to do.
I kind of remember that one, yeah.
Almost a little bit like Harold's. Yeah, all that shit was like, that was like 2010. That was like really when all that over the head. Like Chris Chia had some really cool ones too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to look those up or someone will have to look those up. Yeah, Chris was ahead of his time kind of with a lot of those arm tricks and stuff. I don't know, for a couple years all that shit just kind of fell off for some reason. I don't know, like maybe it was just the pandemic, but I feel like 2019 through like 2022 was just like, or even 2018 through 2022 was just like strong horizontal, some like through the leg stuff, but like arm tricks were not a thing.
It's definitely like the Mirror Kim like behind the back ninja vanish shit. Like all these new ninja vanishes
Yeah.
are happening now. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that was Hunter too, I think. Hunter Feuerstein, just because like he was like one of the first guys to just be doing, him and Evan were like the first guys to be doing all those variations that were just purely for the variety sake of evaluations. Like
Yeah.
they're hard as hell. It's a lot. And like I can't imagine practicing those and like be
It's a
so
whole
tiring.
different
Yeah.
thing, man. It's like a whole different skill set.
Yeah.
I just can't even begin
I remember
to do it.
after Worlds 27 or 2007, John Rob really wanted to do like behind the back stuff. We're like doing it like
Yeah.
position this way. You remember?
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, he did it very strangely because everyone else did it more behind the back. He did it sort of like around.
Yeah, because he had long arms.
It was interesting, yeah. He made it look good though.
Yeah, it's
He
funny.
did that under the leg combo too, where he just spins the green triangle and just passes it under his leg.
Yeah.
Remember that? That shit is so good.
I forgot about that.
His
That's
tricks
so
are some of them are so abstract and just like they wouldn't score anything now because like
Yeah.
nothing's happening really, but they're so good.
I think
It was
Dana.
just his style too. It was
He
just
made
so
him look.
stylish,
Oh, maybe that's a Dana trick.
Yeah,
the
I was
under
gonna
leg.
say,
My bad.
yeah.
John had something under his leg. He had
No,
a
he
couple
had a
under
bunch of
leg
leg
things.
tricks, yeah.
But yes, the one with the spinning
He
GT.
just spins it and then hands everyone like hands, and then he catches it and kind of looks at everyone like,
yeah,
y'all are gonna like clap for this.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it, whatever.
And Dana's other banger was the Mach 5 that goes like.
Oh, yeah.
back. Oh man, that's a cool trick.
I sampled that years later. It's
Yeah,
funny. I was
it's a
like, no one's
classic.
gonna remember he did this.
A lot of people do that element like
They
in
do,
the middle
yeah.
of their tricks now. But he just did it as a repeater basically. But
Yeah, Dana was so ahead.
he
of
was
his
also
time.
first Tangler attempt on
Yeah.
stage. He did it pretty like badly by modern standards, but he was trying, you know.
Seth actually showed me.
Seth did it too, really, maybe
And-
even before Dana.
Yeah, I think it was the year before Dana.
Yeah,
And it
he
was just
did
kinda
it.
Like
I love that Seth freestyle where he got on Duncan's 04 Worlds, I think, and he does like a lot of Astro, and it's like to
Yeah.
an emo song. Like,
yeah, it's like an
it's so out
acoustic
of-
emo song.
yeah.
I love that
I just
freestyle,
really
too.
liked it. Like, I just
Freestyle.
thought he was so cool for
Yeah.
like. He clearly knew he wasn't gonna like. He wasn't really a competition guy, but
No,
like he was always one of my favorites. So I was like, "This is crazy to see him on stage at Worlds." Like,
Yeah.
and he was like he knew like because he fucked up a lot in it, but like he was having fun. It looked like.
He's one of those John Robb type players where it's like, well, I'm not gonna win, but I'm gonna put on a good
Yeah.
show, or like I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a bunch of tricks I know y'all are gonna fuck with, and it just like
Yeah.
no one at the time looks at that and is like, the people who know
Mhm.
the lineage of things would be like, oh, that's such a legendary freestyle. But it takes like a decade for people to look back at those and be like, damn, that was such a good freestyle, or like that really influenced like a lot of. Like, that's definitely what influenced me to use weird music and shit that people weren't using at the time. It's like, oh, like, I want to kind of be like Seth, or like, that hits different. What?
Oh, we're back. So, the Theo Snapchats are coming in.
Theo from Theo.
What's up, Theo?
Shout out Theo. He sent me a funny video the other day.
Oh my god, that Charlie Sheen one.
Yeah.
I told him the hard post. I was like, "This is a main feed post, bro." Like,
yeah. There's
that's
no
so
reason
funny.
he shouldn't share that. That was so funny.
Oh, what's everyone's favorite dessert? Tasty treat, not like if you really like creme brulee or some tiramisu or some shit, that's fine.
I do love tiramisu, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, tiramisu is so hit or miss.
It can be horrible, yeah. But
Yeah.
good tiramisu is very, very pleasant to eat.
One time we went to the Arizona State Fair and John Huber literally got a deep fried piece of tiramisu. It was like one of those deep fried, like,
Shit is so dumb. I'd never like that kind of shit.
no, me either. And he got it for the joke. It wasn't
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
genuinely thought it'd be good. It was just very funny because it was like, I think I got like whatever, deep fried Oreos or Reese's Cups or something, and he literally got like a tiramisu. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if it was done the right way, it'd probably be pretty good, but isn't it like a cream based cake or something? The layers
It's
are
like,
light
yeah,
and
it's
fluffy.
lady fingers, but they're soaked in like usually some kind of booze.
Right, yeah.
And like there's espresso powder on top, but I think the main like frostingy type stuff is made from ricotta actually, maybe like
really?
whipped.
Huh.
I think so. It's kind of like the filling of a cannoli.
Ladyfingers are cookies, right?
Yeah, and they start crispy, but when you soak them, that's why they're soft, and so you
Yeah.
kind of turn them into cake by soaking them.
Who even likes
like-
ladyfinger cookies? It
No,
sounds like
yeah.
an old
I don't think anyone.
Sounds like
but
some bread
They
pudding
sell
type
them
shit.
to make tiramisu with. I
right,
think.
yeah,
Like,
bread pudding. It's like some dessert before processed sugar came around, and they're like, "Oh, this is far too sweet." A
Tiramisu is like an old timey dessert, in my opinion, but for like an everyday sweet that you can get anywhere, I weirdly really love goobers, which are chocolate covered peanuts. You ever seen
Oh,
a
yeah.
blue box?
Those are good. Don't they have like caramel on the bottom or something?
Nope,
too?
just chocolate covered peanuts made by Nestle.
It's like a
the
patty of
goobers.
chocolate covered peanuts.
no, they're individual peanuts,
Huh.
each one enveloped,
Enveloped.
enrobed in some nice Nestle chocolate. And they're
Draped
like a
in
movie
chocolate.
theater type treat, you know. They're something
Yeah.
you can get, but not many movie theaters carry them anymore. But
Because no one wants
still wants them.
Yeah.
But my dad loves them, and then he turned me on to them, and they're like nostalgic.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're not that good.
Are the peanuts ever
But-
salty?
No, they're just
There's plain, right?
yeah. But the chocolate has like a unique flavor to it, so it's just
Because the nut is baked in it, or what?
I guess I don't know, or it's whatever like blend Nestle's using over there, but it's
Over there.
it's
Over there at
it's like
Nestle.
very different from a peanut M&M.
Tastes like Nicaraguan children's tears.
those, and then Take Fives are like
Take Five is fire.
one of the best candy bars ever made. in
Take
my
Five
opinion.
was so underrated when we were kids.
Dude,
feel
I
like.
went to Hershey, PA is near here.
Yeah.
And I went there as a kid and we did the tour, and like the big part of the tour is always like you see the Hershey Kisses being made, all that shit.
Pooping up.
But at the end of the factory tour, they were like, and here's a sneak peek at our new candy coming out. And it was a Take Five. They didn't have the name yet, but I was like, "There's fucking pretzel in here," and like I remember thinking it was so good. And then like 6 months later, it came out, and I'm like, "That's the one they gave us." Like it was so cool. So I have that extra connection to it. I'm
Damn.
like, I love that
That's
shit.
amazing.
But I just
yeah.
love pretzels in general, and then like the salty and sweet thing. It's
Yeah.
got peanut butter. It's got caramel in there. It's like it's the perfect candy bar for
That
me.
was my favorite ice cream. Was this flavor of Ben and Jerry's?
That has pretzel in it. Yeah.
No, it has
Or-
potato chips in it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love salty sweet, man.
Yeah, it's the best. Contrast
And
is
crispy,
great, you know
crunchy
what I mean?
sweet,
Yeah.
like crunchy. Yeah.
What about you,
Gosh,
Cody?
have you ever had snowballs?
Yeah, the pastry. Yeah,
Or like
What,
a
like
big.
the marshmallowed covered chocolate,
yeah.
like
Those
eclairs
are
or whatever.
gnarly.
yeah.
I feel like most people like hate them.
I don't
Oh yeah,
like
they're
those.
not good. They're covered in coconut, shaved coconut, and spray
I fucking
painted
love
pink.
them. They're so good. It's,
Really?
That's an
Yeah.
interesting choice.
and half the time the color just like entices me.
I feel like if they were burlade, like if they had like a crispy outer shell, like if we hit it with a blowtorch.
I was about to
maybe
say, yeah,
fuck
I'll
with
like
it.
roast them over the fire. Like I've done that before.
Oh, that could be
Oh,
good.
wow.
And that's actually
yeah.
I could be.
good,
That's
yeah.
an interesting
That's a game
move.
changer.
That's like people who
or just raw. I'll eat them, but yeah.
That's like people who grill on the flat top a honey bun. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It like
Ooh.
caramelizes the sugar and makes like that shit.
That's wild.
I've never had one, but it looks good as fuck.
That
I
sounds
like
really
a honey
good.
bun, dude, but that's like a guilty pleasure.
I'm
Like
trying to
that
make
shit
a
is.
sandwich out of that.
You know what I've been
It's
fucking
a
with
honey-
heavy for like the last 2 months are pecan swirls.
Where are those?
It's like the same
Oh.
little Debbie thing. It's just like a swirl.
Pecan.
Yeah, I've
It's
never
like-
had one. I might
they-
have to get one of those.
They're so bad for you. Like
Yeah,
they're
like
literally,
that's like a honey bun. I feel it's like
Yes,
1,200 calories.
yeah,
like
they're
it,
literally I think
80
120
grams
calories
of
per cake.
800 grams of sugar.
It's
or
like a
something.
slice of pizza per cake,
Yeah.
and like they have so many seed oils in it. It's so bad. It's probably why my skin is so fucked up right now. Is because I just been eating them like crazy. Like
Do you guys fuck with Tasty Cake? That's like kind of a local brand.
yeah,
Technically, I like a butterscotch crimpet. They're so weird though. Like, it's like a cake with butterscotch icing on it, but if you put it on a napkin, it leaves like a grease stain, just like a slice of pizza.
yeah.
So like the cake is that oily
Oily,
for
right,
some
yeah.
reason, and I always wondered like, what the fuck? Why is this cake greasy? Like,
Those are probably the types of treats that, like, if you get the last one out of the box, it looks like a pizza box underneath.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It just, or no, because it has like a little wax paper bottom. that you
Yeah.
throw on. But like, have you ever been in like a hood gas station and got like the 25-cent bags of Doritos or something?
yeah.
And like the whole cardboard pull-out thing is so greasy underneath of it, and it's
Yeah.
like, this is insane. Like, look at Kurt's
Yeah.
face.
for sure.
Oh my god.
Snowballs is a weird choice, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
That's almost as weird as we were at, I think, NER or MA States with Ham Dog in the Connor, and we went into this Dollar General that was like closing. So the employee was like, you guys got like 2 minutes, like pick your, it was a Dollar Tree or a dollar, it was a dollar store. And they're like, you got 2 minutes. We were just trying to grab like drinks basically. And so everyone grabs their thing and Ham Dog's like, I don't know what to get. And then so we all leave. We're
Oh,
like
yeah,
getting
what did he
ushered
get? I
out. He
forgot.
walks out with a king size Three Musketeer. We're like, that's what you fucking. We just all roasted him for like the whole night. It's a fucking of all the candy bar. They had every option, and you
Yeah.
got a big ass Three Musketeer.
I remember
For
him
some
pulling that
reason-
out at Andre's house,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Why are you eating like a 9-inch Three Musketeers?"
like maybe a fun size once a year. I'll pop a fucking fun size but like you don't need more than that. Like
no,
it's just
such a-
nougat.
Yeah, it's
It's
only
just
nougat. Yeah.
Is this gray ass fucking
It's a
nougat?
gnarly candy. Like it's not bad, but it's only nougat.
It's just not that good either. Like it's just such a mid candy bar that it was a funny choice that he made. But
What else were you gonna say, Kurti? Did you
yeah,
have
sorry I
another
interrupted
snowball?
you.
I don't know. Big Water. Do you all remember when Big Water was the thing?
What's big water?
Like Team Big Water?
Was it Team Big Water?
Yeah, it was just Kurti and Mark going around with like water bottles and telling everyone
like,
like you gotta
Bergie,
stay
yeah.
hydrated.
Yeah, I
Oh.
wasn't even big Team Big Water, but yeah, Big Water was also a thing.
One time I filmed a funny, I probably have it on my hard drive actually. It's literally, we went to Mark's apartment and Mark bought like 10 really fancy waters from like Erewhon or like an equivalent like really fancy health food store. And then we all like tasted, it was like peak of Big Water kind of thing. And then we
Yeah.
all were like testing out the different waters. And then like in between we ate like a spoonful of salt.
Just to like wash the palate.
Cleanse your
palate cleanse.
to
Between
destroy your taste buds. Just
Yeah.
all that salt.
Oh yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
What do you remember any of the water brands? Because my favorite fancy water is definitely Topo Chico.
No,
Shit's
that
good
was
as hell.
not a thing. I mean, Topo Chico is like an old company, but it
Yeah.
was not popping at the time. It was like that water bottle, the blue one, that's like volcanic Iceland water.
Fiji,
Oh,
maybe.
That one was in
Fiji
there too,
water.
but I think it's like glacial, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And then Voss. Have you ever had a Voss? It comes in a glass
Yeah.
bottle. It's like a big cylindrical bottle.
Yeah. I do like a Fiji every once in a while.
They are good, man.
That was like the first
some buttery ass
bougie water that I remember growing up was Fiji.
Yeah.
And people were like, this is fucking absurd. $3 for a bottle or whatever it cost back then. And like, but then now, like, there's so many like luxury waters. It's just like normal. But Fiji was kind of the first one to be like, no, this is artisan water. Like, shit is good.
That's a cool
It
bottle,
is better.
too.
It's a good bottle and it's good branding. And it does taste good.
It literally looks like a fucking like a little aquarium in your house.
Can you
remember
guys pick out like bad water when you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't care. You're like, whatever, it's water. Like, it's fine.
What are the worst brands then?
I really don't like
Dasani.
Dasani. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm a
Deer
Poland.
Park.
I'll always get like Poland
Okay.
Spring if I can. I just like because there's spring water and then there's purified water, and
Poland
like
Spring is the best low tier one, I feel like, or regular tier water.
because like Dasani literally does like some sort of reverse osmosis thing that takes out all the minerals and like any kind of electrolytes.
What the hell?
So you're just drinking water, but it has no like electrolyte that it's what actually hydrates you.
I feel like it's formulated for like the movie theater.
So you really,
like, you have to
it's
get
like
more
the
of it.
soda of water. Like
Oh
there's
my
not
God.
really, it's still water, so it's healthy, but you want to get spring water if you can. And they'll always say, legally, it can say spring water because
Huh.
then it still has minerals in it, which have electrolytes, which
Yeah.
hydrate you better. So it's like, it's whatever, but yeah, I
This
don't
one
fuck with Dasani.
time, this yo-yo player's friend came out. He wasn't a yo-yo player, but he came out to stay with Aaron and I in Arizona. And it was funny because he like went to a health food store and got spring water in glass bottles, and then he like looked up on like a special app where like there was a local spring to refill your bottles, but like not
Damn.
even like from a like spring water tap or whatever. He like literally went. He like made us drive him to some like naturist place to like go fill up like 10 water bottles.
So it wasn't a real like spring in the ground. It was like a.
It was.
Oh wow!
It was in Arizona somewhere though. I don't
Damn,
know.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's kind of wild. I remember when I went with Ben to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, there was a natural spring down there too, and it was funny because like it was really clean and shit, but like he just stuck his face in it and started like gulping and drinking out of it. I was like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, this is the cleanest water you'll ever get. Like, drink up, boys. And, like, we all just started drinking out of the side of a mountain. It was like, this is kind of funny.
Faces. What are we doing right now?
Dude,
There's like a place in, I think it's like Saratoga Springs I went to with Mater in New York, and they have like a water fountain there that has, it's like a whole park, and then in the middle of the park it's like one water fountain. It's kind of wild. And it just fucking tasted awful. It was so bad.
really.
Sometimes
It was
those
like
hit,
straight
though.
dirt water, dude. It was
Yeah.
so, I mean, it was like I think it just had like sulfur in it. So
Okay.
it was just like the
Well water.
kind of like
maybe?
rotten taste.
I learned that
caught me
like
by surprise.
like sparkling water is a thing that occurs in nature.
Yeah, I
So like
forget
there
what
are
they
springs where the water coming out is already bubbly and fizzy. So it used to be super expensive, and then in like I actually learned this from a Greg Cohen video
Oh god.
on YouTube. He goes to New York and traces the history of like man-made seltzer water, like spring, and it was invented in New York by this guy. Like I think this Jewish guy in New York invented like how to add the bubbles to the water. So before that, you had to import it from like a spring in Italy that was naturally carbonated.
What the
But then once he figured out how to carbonate any water, that's how they came up with like whatever that weird drink in New York is, the egg cream or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
That's just sparkling water with like milk in it, chocolate syrup.
Egg creams are pretty good.
Are they? I really want to try one.
They're good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
In San Francisco, I think they're really popular too, and I got one there one time, and it was just
It sounds like it could be good. It's
Yeah.
weird,
for
but
some reason I thought they were way more sugary than they actually were. But
yeah,
it's a strong seltzer taste.
yeah.
Why was Greg researching it just
Because
for,
of
like,
egg creams, because he sells
Oh,
them at his
right.
candy
his
shop.
candy shop?
So he literally went to New York and he's wearing that funny hat and like filming himself.
Oh
Like
my
this
God.
is the corner store where he invented seltzer water, and then this is where the egg cream was invented. It was crazy, but I just didn't realize like there's
It's a whorehouse now.
it's a Starbucks.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Greg should do a podcast.
For real.
That's so
He doesn't
wild.
need
He
to.
has
He's-
another YouTube channel. He's also got the Candy channel. Like,
That's the one that had the video I'm talking about.
okay.
His
Yeah,
YouTube's huge, man.
Does he have a
Does a
million
lot.
subs yet?
He's got to. Let's check.
He's got a lot, I think. I'll look it up. Oh, you got your phone.
Yeah, he's got to.
Um,
What is it called?
Lofty Pursuits.
Lofty Pursuits.
Yeah. Betty just hit 2 million subs on YouTube.
Holy
Isn't that
shit.
crazy?
Congrats, Betty.
Damn.
He's at 580K.
That's still a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. But I thought he was a million. Because I've met people in regular life who, like, love him. And I'm like, yeah, I know him. Like, through the
Intimately.
weirdest way possible. Like, you wouldn't believe that.
I spent a weird amount of time with this
Yeah.
man.
When I was 14. Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Don't worry, it's before he started making candy.
Oh my gosh. His candy's good though.
It is. He did those Altoid sours. Insane. If anyone remembers the Altoid sours,
Yeah.
they discontinued. He like reverse engineered them. He like bought some off eBay for an insane amount of money and like
Jesus Christ.
figured out how to tumble them to get like the right frosted finish on the candy.
Thank God.
It's insane, dude. He has a whole video series on it, but I bought
Damn.
some and they're identical
That's
to what I
awesome.
remember. Like he did such a good job.
They taste the same when we were kids.
Yeah, tangerine sours. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one reason why it's like I think all those tasty cakes and stuff, the recipe changed. Because like when we were kids, they were a lot better, I feel like. And now they're,
Definitely.
like,
Definitely.
so bad.
What else was there?
But
Oh,
Altoids still
Orange
taste so
Gina. Do you like Orange Gina?
good.
The drink, it's like a carbonated orange drink.
Yeah.
Used to come in a little glass bottle, and then they changed it since we've been adults to like a different shape, and it's a plastic bottle, and the drink just tastes like totally different.
Really?
I think they also stopped using real sugar maybe and started using
Oh.
high fructose, but it's like I love those things as a kid, and now they
Yeah.
suck. It's a shame.
The first person who put me onto those was Adam Brewster of all people.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it was funny. I think it may have been at one of those Tennessee states we were all
Probably,
at
yeah.
together. Good times.
Tennessee State's the first time I had White Castle. Weirdly, because I'm from like kind of near Jersey where they're like really big. But I was a kid and I just never made the trip to New Jersey to go to a White Castle.
Yeah.
Now there's one literally 5 minutes from my house, but there wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, there's one
In
like
PA?
right. Yeah,
Damn.
there's one like right over there. We have the only Bojangles in the north too. We have
Wow.
2 Bojangles. One's in Quakertown, the other's in Reading.
Bojangles is actually good though.
So good. Yeah.
White Castle is not.
White Castle's not good, but
It's okay, like when someone's never had it before and they want to try it, but like as soon as you eat 1 or 2, you're like, oh god, like I'm
yeah.
good. I don't need any more.
it was like 2008 Tennessee States, I think,
Yes, yeah.
and it was the first one, and we were staying at Adam's house apartment,
Yeah.
and me and Danny like snuck out to smoke weed because we had just, it was like we were still really young, and Adam obviously wasn't into that, but we snuck out and did it. And I think Miggy then drove us to White Castle. It was like 3 a.m. and we were super high. And I just remember Danny was like, "What the fuck are chicken rings?" And he got a bunch of. We just were so high. We got like a bunch of chicken rings, and it sounds stupid now, but like we were young kids high, and he was just so blown away that they like chose to make the chicken nugget into a ring shape. He's like, "Why did they do this?"
It is kind of a wild
it's like a
idea.
meat ring. It's
Yeah.
it is like
Meat
fuck
ring.
because there's onion rings make sense because it's an onion,
Right, yeah.
but like forming chicken into a ring is just insane.
And
we
you
were
know, White Castle probably
What?
thought they were on some shit. With
Yeah.
it. They're like, yo, you know how you can make these any shape you want? What if you made these bitches into a ring?
But- yeah, Danny was just so upset. I just remember, it was really funny.
recently, and I was like, this has to be like some fucking temp item or some shit.
A
Like,
temp
that's
item?
wild.
It's one of their staples,
Yeah, it's
bro.
been around for
Wow.
like 20 years, more than that even.
Yeah.
I think it was
No,
like the 90s
White
or
Castle
something.
started in like the 50s. I don't know when the
Yeah.
chicken rings started, but yeah.
I think they did put it on a slider recently. The chicken ring.
There's no point in they're like special menu items they do are always so stupid. It's like just stick with the sliders, dude. Like,
Yeah.
they're like trying to add sauces to the sliders and shit. It's like your food is so base. It's like the bare bones is what make people like it, you know.
If they did like a Five Guys level slider and charge more money for it, I bet they'd be a popular restaurant.
Yeah.
but it's like so...
They can't though, because they steam their shit. Like
Yeah,
they don't
I forgot
even
about that, yeah.
like actually cook it the normal way. Like they
It's
steam their burger.
It's
meat.
such a thin patty of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just steams. Oh my
Steamed
God.
beef.
I used to love, or not love, but for some reason I would get them a couple times a year. Those frozen White
The
Castle
microwave ones are
sliders.
better.
Oh,
I swear
yeah.
to God.
They are better, but like I get sick every time.
Oh,
I eat
yeah.
them. Like I would just eat them.
But
And be like, oh God, why
Since
did I
I-
eat these? Like,
Yeah, since I didn't have a White Castle, like a real one growing up until the Tennessee State, I would get the frozen ones too, and like they held me over, and then I went to the real one. I'm like, these aren't even quite as good as the frozen ones I've been making.
The
It was
frozen
those
ones are
movies
great.
though. Those fucking movies made
they
White
made them
Castle.
look real good.
Yeah.
I would come home from school and pop a fucking pack of sliders in the microwave and like sleep for 4 hours. Like that shit was like drugs.
And then I would actually do drugs.
Well, it was like another year or two. But, yeah.
That's so funny.
And then I wisened up. I left the sliders in my youth.
My after school snack was chicken taquitos in the microwave. You ever fuck with those? The
Those
little
frozen
yeah.
ones.
round, yeah. Just microwave a couple of those. and-
Isn't there like a brand with like, I mean, this is every Mexican frozen food brand, but it's like a guy with a sombrero. on the
Jose
box.
Olé. Yeah. There's Jose Olé. There's Monterey or something like
Yeah, I
that.
think Monterey was the ones I got when I was a kid.
Monterey is really good. Yeah,
They were pretty good. Like when
I
we were a
like
kid.
them. Yeah. Dip them in some salsa.
They're
Maybe.
probably still good nowadays, but it's
I got
just,
some
like,
recently. They are still good.
It's so easy to make that shit as an adult, and
Yeah.
like it's way better for you. Like if you just buy chicken and roll it up in a
Yeah,
shell, like,
with some cheese.
don't even deep fry it, just bake it or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
just way better for you. I used to house Totino's pizzas because they were like literally
The actual pizza, not the rolls.
No, like
Yeah.
or Tostinos. I forget the name brand. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're personal size pizzas.
Yeah.
but they're
I think it's Totino. I think they're the
Totino,
same
yeah.
brand that makes pizza rolls now, but they
but
made.
they're so bad for you.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
I were to eat one of those now, I would probably keel over just because it's like there's a million ingredients on them shits. Like
That's another thing that was awesome when we were kids and sucks now. I think we've talked about it on the pod, but Pizza Hut personal pan
oh
pizzas,
yeah, dude.
when they actually like cook them in butter in like a cast iron pan, and now they're like just frozen. Like
Pizza Hut was
Oh,
literally
shit.
like a Olive Garden.
it's like a
level dining
sit down. Yeah,
experience.
we would
like,
go
when
on
we
a
were kids.
Sunday night, my dad and brother and me, and like sit in the dark. Like they had a little buffet.
The dark with like the custom
red
chandelier.
Dude,
yeah.
I was trying to get one of those on eBay, but they go for a lot of money.
Yeah,
But
like
the
a
red
lot of
Pizza
money,
Hut
yeah.
chandelier, glass, like I really want one.
You should just make one. Just get a stained glass kit. and
That would be
make
a fun project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hang one like in here.
And then just take commissions. Just start commissioning big
For real.
chandeliers for people. That's kind of a sick idea, actually.
yeah,
Because it's a popular like hipster craft right now.
yeah,
Stained
that and
glass.
making rugs apparently.
Yeah, rugs kind of went out a few years ago. Because rugs is like very labor intensive. Like the stained glass is like you can make pretty simple shit pretty easy, but like once you start getting into like making big crazy elaborate things,
Yeah.
this artist's
It looks
girlfriend
fun.
makes them, and she made these like really awesome Happy Meal boxes
Oh damn.
that you can like put a candle inside of. and
Oh,
stuff.
that's so
It's a
sick.
really dope idea, yeah, but it's like those take a long time because you gotta like finitely cut out 6 panels and like all these different things and the little accents that go on it, the McDonald's M and shit. But yeah, rugs were really popular, especially during the pandemic because like everyone was inside and nothing to
Yeah,
do. And it's
it
like,
looks
uh,
fun. You get that gun and you just
Yeah,
like, I want to try it. But the other weird art trend I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but painters are all doing this airbrush style where they like mask off with tape and they airbrush different colors and it ends up looking like PlayStation 1 graphics.
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen like 30 different Instagram accounts with 40, 50K followers each who all do that exact style of airbrushing.
airbrush is just real popular right now.
Yeah, it's really interesting how like it's just if I go in my Explore, like there's just that style of art just
Yeah.
everywhere.
There was this graffiti artist from New York. His name was Cheeto, and he like 4 or 5 years ago did like a Supreme capsule, and then Givenchy and Dior both did pieces with him, and it's like really like some of their like best reselling pieces. Like the Dior jacket was like 2 or 3 grand when it came out, and it goes for like 6 now. So it's like really hard to get. But like, I think that was kind of the initial wave where people see that kind of shit. And it's like, oh man.
I guess it
these are
sort of
cool.
comes along with like how everything 90s is hot right now. Like,
Right, yeah.
Because you would go to the mall when we were kids, and there
Right.
was an airbrush artist at every mall who just does shirts. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a thing.
I have a sick airbrushed recess logo I always mean to do for Valentine's Day.
That'd be cool.
It's literally just like a heart, like one of the airbrushed hearts, and it says
Yeah.
recess in the middle. And I'm like, man, this would be so rad. And like,
Yeah.
there's been so many like viral airbrush t-shirt things that came out the last year. Well, not the last year, the last 2 or 3 years. I did this in like 2019, I think it was, or something. But it's literally like, have you seen the Adriana and Chrissy or Christopher from Sopranos t-shirts that they made? It's like an airbrush, and then it's screen printed though.
I
It's not
think
actual
so. Yeah.
airbrush.
I think I
Someone
did see
vectored it.
that.
It's really cool. Now someone is gonna watch this and make a airbrush yo-yo t-shirt. But
Man, I just finished The Sopranos for the first time. What a great show.
really, just
Yeah.
finished it.
Well, I finished it like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay,
Like
that's
back,
right, yeah.
I was almost finished at PNWR. I remember talking to you about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't spoil it. But holy moly, what a show!
Yeah, what did you think of it?
Oh, it's
Or
just the best
ending,
thing
yeah.
I've ever seen.
The best thing
ending
I've
is-
ever seen.
The ending is perfect. You can't end it any other way. Like,
Yeah, it upsets a lot of people. That,
I get it, but no,
Yeah.
that is the only way. Like
Yeah.
anything else would have been corny or unrealistic, or it's just so perfect,
right.
dude.
I kind of hate the end of Breaking Bad for that reason. Where
Yeah,
it just
it's
gets wrapped
like-
up in this perfect ornate.
Oh
little
yeah, he
package.
kills every bad guy. Every good person gets
Yeah.
away, and
His
then
family gets all the money, and
Yeah.
and maybe
No.
he dies, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
the police get there in time and save him. Like,
Yeah.
But
Have you
yeah.
ever watched Sopranos, Kurti?
No.
It's
You should
worth
watch
it,
it,
man.
especially right now. with
It's
your-
absolutely worth it.
Yeah. You
Like-
should just watch it. It's very good. Every time
Okay.
I go through some shit in life, I'll watch The Sopranos, and it kind of not fixes me, but it definitely like sets you straight in a lot of weird ways. Like,
It's hard to describe because people would say the
I
same.
feel like
thing.
everyone kind of has like a series like that.
yeah,
I don't know.
Trailer Park Boys for me. It's like comforting. Like
Yeah.
I will just put that on, and no matter how depressed I am, and it's like when I hear the music kick in, I'm like, all right, I'm happy. It reminds me of like 2010 when I discovered it, and this like takes me right back. To
2010,
more-
good time.
Not that it was the best time of my
I
life,
was gonna
right?
say,
It's
yeah.
not a great time at all, but it was definitely a simpler time.
simpler.
You know.
Yeah, now that I've been sober, it's a lot easier for me to deal with like nostalgic shit like that. Because it used to be like very weird. I don't know, like it would make me feel some type of way, like experiencing extreme nostalgia. You know what I
Huh.
mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe that's why
Like
I
not a not good feeling.
disliked yo-yo contests for so long. It was not good, but not like hatred. Just like indifferent. It's like almost
Yeah.
like when you watch something and you're like you get like secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? You like can't watch it. It
Okay.
would be like that, but like something really nostalgic, and it would just be like, oh man, like I can't handle this right now.
Interesting. That's like overwhelming or
Yeah,
something.
probably because I was just like so unhappy with where I was in my life. I guess I don't know.
Huh.
And it's like when you watch nostalgic stuff like that, it's like
Yeah.
reminiscent of like a simpler time in your life, and
Right.
you're like, oh, maybe we could go. You know, you're like, oh, I want to go back.
I
then,
see.
but
I can
things are
see how that-
different," and I
yeah.
don't know.
You just gotta appreciate that it happened, you know?
Yeah.
Right? That's why I like it. I'm very into nostalgic, and I just like thinking about.
Yeah, the older and more secure you get with your own identity, I feel like it's easier to
Yeah, maybe.
confront demons like that, or just handle nostalgia. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely like, I don't know. It's nostalgia is like not good, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
It's not
Like it's
good
just like
to-
good in healthy doses.
to
you
get
know?
hung up on it, right?
Yeah.
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 But like especially skateboarding stuff, or like I don't know, like there's been like a lot of great skateboarding documentaries made the last like 10 years, and I'm always like, I can't watch this. It's just gonna make me like bummed.
That
out
I
and
can
sad
really-
and
okay,
weird.
now
And then
I'm
it's
getting
funny
it
how
more, yeah.
some things just like age really well too. There's also that.
Yeah, for sure. But like the last
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. for some reason the skateboarding thing struck like I can get that. Like I wouldn't want to watch something about like early 2000s. Like I don't know. I can't explain why.
Yeah.
But it was like that is such a good memory for me. But it's like I don't want to watch that for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like a weird, carefree, lackadaisical time in your life where just anything goes, and like you're just along for the ride, and then like you turn like 15 or 16 and it all comes crashing. But yeah, yo-yo tricks and diagrams just don't make sense. Like it's
this shit is wild. It's like mix throw lap equals tumble plus free morph. Match throw lap equals free morph plus tumble.
Is that it? What?
That's just that. That's just doing a split bottom and like rolling the whole thing forward, I guess, is a free morph for a throw lap. I'm not sure.
Mark is like one of the few people that could do this, and it like
it makes total sense to him. I'm
exactly
sure.
Like it's something that I could see him doing, and it's like I know that he probably put countless hours into this, and like it makes sense to him, or it's like he probably had like a very well thought out plan as to why it was a good idea, but.
Oh yeah, and then this part of it's cool. Each mount, he has like the monkey, the dragonfly, the orchid, and they're like the different spirits. The fourth spirit is the monkey. The monkey is associated with YT because YT is the most unique and versatile hold.
Sounds like you just copied this from like the Scientology Bible. It's like a copy of Diet.
Yellowfish, riverfish, the bull. I don't know. I thought this show was cool, but I still don't get it. But
I just
wait,
don't
what is it supposed to be? Like just for different tricks?
It's just like a way to break down tricks into a way that you can write it. So like
it's like early internet shit, because a lot of the internet at the time was just text files.
But what's
like,
the bull and all that?
Those are like he's naming different holds, which I guess we would call mounts now. So like the trapeze is the turtle for some. The crab is like a 1 point trapeze and brother type thing.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
The lizard.
Does he explain why?
It looks
I
like
think
astrology.
that's
Is that
more
what that
just,
paragraph is?
Yeah, that's more for fun.
It would be cool to print those characters on a shirt.
Yeah, I do like the little drawings.
It looks like the Arc'teryx logo.
The monkey teach us about the power of being original and versatile. The monkey is always the character in a story that comes along and comes up with a solution to a seemingly unsolvable problem. He gets laughed at, but in the end, he is right. I don't know. I think that stuff's more for fun, but like the actual important part is like these letters. Like
all these equations.
It's like math stuff, dude. I really suck at
this goddamn what's that movie with Matt Damon where he's a janitor and solving equations on the board?
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting, good yo-yo ass book.
And I like how it's like a leopard print. Like the book is leopard print, and like this crazy character on it.
I guess too, like if you're really into punk rock, like all those dudes are like pretty well read and educated in some sort of way, or not punk rock, but like hardcore and stuff. And it's like I can see what he was going for, and it's like I don't know. That's just wild to me. Again, there could have been so many other things that he made, and it's like and no one knew that like yo-yo was just gonna die out at the time. So like when he made that, it was
1998. This book came out, so this was the peak of the big yo-yo boom.
Yeah,
so.
it had like another 8-month run or year-long run.
There were like lots of yo-yo books then. Like there really were. I was looking at a used bookstore online, and like just for like interesting ones, like that other one that we were talking about,
the big yo-yo book, the George Malka book.
Yeah, and most of them obviously suck, but there are like literally hundreds of just like yo-yo trick books, like from the 90s. Yeah,
they just released a new children's book that's about Pedro Flores and him being like a Filipino immigrant. Yeah.
How Duncan stole it from him. Or I guess they didn't. I don't know.
He got paid like $900,000 back in the day.
Really?
Which in the 20s,
Holy
it was
shit,
like
that's amazing.
Several $1 million.
I was always under the impression it was sort of he got like ripped off, but
no, because there's like pictures of him later in life, and they're in like a flourished house. Like it's very
awesome.
Nice.
Good.
And like
he
amazing.
Fucking deserves it. Holy shit, the money Duncan must have made. Like,
oh, dude. Well, they declared bankruptcy not too long later, like in the 60s or something. I forget the exact year.
I don't know the history.
because so basically they trademark the name Yo-Yo Duncan, so no
Yeah.
one else could call their toy a yo-yo, which is where like the word return top comes from.
Right.
Because like Cheerio had to call theirs return tops, whoever else, and then
'Cause it's like technically in Canada, right? Like the patent is like in Canada.
no, someone else in Canada trademarked the word yo-yo.
Okay.
So that's why in Canada you have to call it a return top. I think like some toy distributor owns. They probably read this exact story and was like, "Oh, well, nobody in Canada will ever take us to court for this." So, or maybe the Canadian laws are kind of fucked up. In America, there's like a lot of loopholes and gray area when it comes to intellectual property rights. Like the double kicktail skateboard, like that shape of a skateboard was tried. It was attempted to be patented by someone, but then like when they got taken to court over it, the opposing side argued, like the defense argued, like this was just natural innovation, like this is just how skateboards would have eventually been shaped anyway, and the judge was like, good enough for me, all right. Like,
Wow.
and it was similar with yo-yo too, where
Who
like
did the first double kick? Was it
Rodney Mullen, believe it or not.
he
Isn't that
made it
fucking
like in his
crazy?
garage?
Yes,
Wow.
not like in his garage, but like he would go to the board shop and like cut out shapes and stuff like that.
That's another one like Steve Albini. I said the other day, rest in peace, Steve Albini. But it's like it sucks getting old. We have to see like our heroes that like Rodney.
Oh god, I don't want to think about Rodney Mullen.
He
dying.
invented
Come on, man.
skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Because the first one that was started to be shaped like that was this old Mike Vallely board. That was like the one that's like the barnyard scene.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of like a double kicktail, but it's more like squared on each end.
Yep.
And then Rodney Mullen, like he was just going to the wood shop a lot to like shape boards and test different shapes. And then he was like, "Oh, we'll do it like this and round it off a little more." And everyone was like, "All right, fuck it, cool." Like
Insane.
it really is, dude.
That's interesting. The copyright thing. That's like kind of guitars are weird with that too. You can only copyright the headstocks.
Really?
Yes. So that's why any company can make a Telecaster or a Stratocaster shaped guitar,
Right.
but they cannot copy the Fender headstock. That's what's copyrighted.
I wonder why, because like sneaker companies are doing that a lot now, because like the last 5-6 years, like bootleg sneakers have been a big thing. Not bootlegs,
Yeah.
but like you make your own rendition. 'Cause,
Right.
like all the factories that make fakes
Right.
will have all the pieces to make a Jordan 1, but then you just change the swoosh to like a fucking an umbrella or something.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
And then you call your company Sad Boys and then just sell a Jordan 1, but it has an umbrella on the side instead of a swoosh. But Nike now has like pattern trademarks or pattern patents on like their different shoes, and like they just took Bape to court and settled with Bape out of court because Bape has the Bapesta, and
Yeah.
they have a Dunk ripoff called the Skatesta, I think it's called, or something. And it's like Nike took them to court and was like, "Oh, these are our designs, you have to change them or like pay us royalties or whatever," and they're not going to change them. But
Interesting.
yeah,
They might become like the lawsuit era guitars, which were like in the 70s overseas in like Korea and Japan and stuff. They would make perfect copies of like Les Pauls and popular guitars, but they still would copy the headstock too. So they actually got like sued. And then they just tweaked the headstock and then it was legal again. But now those guitars that they did make like the perfect copies, they're like called lawsuit era guitars, and they were like really high quality for the time, especially the Japanese ones.
that's interesting.
But they're like sought after almost as much just because they're like perfect copies of
Yeah.
like the best like 50s Les Pauls that were,
yeah, some of the bootlegs have nicer materials than the actual
Exactly,
sneakers
yeah,
do
that kind of
sometimes,
thing,
but
like-
yeah,
where they're almost better, but
right. All right, so back on yo-yo road. So we all have left pretty prestigious yo-yo teams. All of us.
Oh yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah, so I just want to kind of talk about, because listening to all these skateboard podcasts I've been listening to lately, that's like one reoccurring theme is like
Jumping around.
yeah, like a skateboarder quits a team and they get this amazing opportunity,
Starts a company of
yeah,
their
they start a
own.
company and then they have to quit this other team. So it's like, and we all were like pretty close friends and or like, got sponsored when we were younger, and then like kind of came of age, and then it was like, all right, like we gotta do our own thing now or change it up or whatever the case may be. And so yeah, I just want to talk about that and kind of go over not only the ways that we all quit our respective teams, but then like the plan you had in mind, just the whole story that goes along with you quitting your team, and then like maybe even a little bit of like the initial how you got on the team. I mean, I've talked to both you guys about how you got on. I don't know if we talked about Anti-Yo or not when you.
Yeah.
I forget. It's been so long since we did your podcast. I know we
I
definitely
think we
talked.
probably talked about it. Yeah.
I had Kurti's written out ad nauseum because him and Mater were like good homies.
Yeah.
And, like, but yeah, how did you quit Anti-Yo, or how did that go
Well,
down?
yeah, it's funny. I was reading through. Still have a lot of my old emails from 2005, 6, 7. That's how it's pre-Instagram and stuff. So we communicated through email mostly.
Maybe occasionally instant messenger, but like
yeah, we
Sonny
did a lot of that too.
Sonny and Kia were adults though, so I don't really know if they were on AIM like
They
that.
were, but yeah, no, it was more email. So
and texting actually cost money at the time. They're like,
yeah,
people rarely had unlimited texting phone.
Yeah, we
plans.
never texted. I don't even know if I had those guys' phone numbers. But
you were also like a kid, and they
yeah,
were like adults. So anyway,
right. But I was looking through the emails, and I had sort of forgotten how it happened, and I sort of had it in my head how I thought it happened, and it turned out I was kind of wrong.
Isn't that crazy? Like as you get older, you kind of like have a certain replaying in your brain of how something happened, and then you're like, when you actually have a hard copy of it, it's like, oh, I don't really remember that at all. But all right.
So in the replay that I thought was reality, I was a lot more mature and cool about how I went about leaving the team. But the reality was I was 16, 17, going on 18 maybe this would have been 2000, like end of 08, 09 sometime. And
yeah, so you were like 17 going on 18, yeah.
And I was like I was on heroin and fucked up, and so we were talking about the Jake-Zilla from when I got second at Worlds in 2006. So like years, 3 years have gone by.
And the Jake-Zilla was supposed to be a Delrin Bape, right?
Yeah, plastic Bape-Zilla. Which would have been sick.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this. Like,
yeah,
I think it
was an idea very early.
Because you and I had like a very funny instant messenger conversation after Nationals 2006. Because you went out there, and you like made friends with Yuki and hung out with Yuki and stuff. And I was just like really weird young kid. Like, what is he like? Like, what is it like hanging out with Yuki? Yeah,
that's funny.
And you were kind of like not cool guy in it, but you were just like he's just like a regular guy.
Yeah,
but also he's like so over yo-yos and like hates yo-yos and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and 06 was a rough year for Yuki.
But I remember you literally telling me about Jake-Zilla in that conversation because you were like, oh, like Kia.
Dude, I wish we could get those chat logs.
I talked about Kia and I about making a yo-yo and plastic Bape, and we could do it like next year. And I was like, oh, sick, like that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know what the holdup was. I have no idea to this day. I mean there weren't that many Delrin yo-yos. There was the milk. No. Like it wasn't that simple to make a yo-yo back then, so who knows, might have been money. They might have just been over it. But they, in that time period that we were talking about, the Jake-Zilla, they released the business, and well, they never really released the wet, huh?
No.
So yeah, they kind of just, I'm not sure.
Tapered off.
Like. Yeah, they tapered off. I think Kia opened Self Edge and got busy with that.
Yeah, Kia opened Self Edge in 2006. So yeah.
So that's probably the real reason. He just got busy and moved on. But we were still, everyone was still on the team technically, and I was still on the team, and they were sending me stuff like I had a proto wet, and I made a wet video you can watch on my YouTube still, and like
that video is amazing. And then I'm still so pissed that Trevor got that shirt from.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I always they would fit you too. I might have some other shirts from that time, some mediums, but
I'm glad it stayed in the family. You know what I mean? But also just like being a t-shirt collector, it's like I would have loved to had such a.
It's not a true vintage. It's like a Hot Topic.
But it's
reissue.
still cool that you wore it. Like you wore it in such a classic video at the time. Yeah. Like it was. Yeah, and I remember at Nationals 2007 playing with that wet and being like, damn, so they're going to like be competing with Yo-Yo Factory next year because like this yo-yo is dead smooth and so good and like.
Yeah, and I was fucked up like I said, so I sold or traded that wet to Charles Schuler, who like a couple years ago gave it back to me for free, which was like one
Yeah.
of the coolest things
Very
anyone's
nice of
done
him,
for me.
yeah.
Like, I know it's just a yo-yo, but like it's almost a one of one. There's like not many of the. It's not a one drop wet. It's
Yeah.
like not a one. There was a shitload of raw ones and you've released some, but this one was anodized, had the logo.
Yeah.
It's just cool, and it meant a lot to me that he did that. That was really cool of him. But I was hard up and just needed money and it's doing drugs and stuff. So I sold a lot of really sick yo-yos. But
and if anybody should have gotten, like, if you sold it to a rando, like, you'd never see that yo-yo again. You know what I mean?
But
So,
Charles
like,
recognized that it would mean something to me, and he like just did that. I didn't ask. He was just like, "Here, you should have this back."
damn,
so that was
that's
super
so
cool
nice
of him.
of him. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that now. Yeah.
Yeah, love Charles. But anyway, so this is like '09, and how did he? I was looking through the emails, so we were going back and forth about Jake Zilla, and I remember us having disagreements about. He's like, "Okay, we'll do it this year." I'm thinking Japan exclusive release, only Japan. And in hindsight, it's probably like he was going to Japan a lot because of Self Edge, and he
Right.
probably just thought it would be interesting and something different and something exciting for him to do, like to make a Japan only yo-yo, whatever. But I was like, no, none of my friends, I don't have any friends in Japan. Like, that's literally what I said. Like,
Yeah.
I know Japanese players will buy it and love it, but like, I want my friends to be able to get it.
Right.
So-
And it would have been really hard to buy it from Spin Gear.
Exactly.
Spin Gear was
Yeah.
really the only yo-yos. Like, Yo-Yo Rewind didn't exist yet, I don't think.
I have no idea what he had in
Um,
mind. I guess Spin Gear, but he might have been like,
Maybe AG's yo-yo store was around. I forget if that was still a thing.
Might
or
have
if that
been
was
some
just,
AG
like,
shit,
one
yeah.
year. But yeah, like, that all makes sense about Kia thinking like it would be cooler in Japan and
Yeah.
stuff.
And nowadays I could care less. Like but back then I was like, all I wanted was a signature yo-yo
Yeah.
for years and years, forever. And I was just like, I'm finally getting, I want everyone to be able to get it easily. Like, I
Right.
want to make a ton of them and it as cheap as we can sell them for, and like a plastic bape accessible to everyone, not $150 or whatever. But anyway, so like we disagreed about that, and then it sort of just, the conversation tapered off again. And at some point, Stu Brown from the Word Yo-Yo Company hit me up. Randy Shreves, my buddy, was living in Australia at the time, and he had gotten on Word. And so I guess that's how he got the idea to hit me up. Maybe Randy mentioned something to him, like Jake's like bored of Antio or whatever,
Yeah.
or annoyed at this situation. So he's like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, Worlds is coming up. Like, what's your sponsorship? Like, I haven't heard much from Antio. What's going on?" And I sort of vented to him in the email I saw. It's like, I'm just like kind of bored of waiting. And then I was like, it's so embarrassing, but I was literally like feeling myself and also just fucked up on drugs. And I'm like, if you get me a flight to Worlds and a hotel and send me yo-yos to compete with, I'll quit Antio right now and join Word. And he was just like, done.
I do remember you
Yeah.
telling me that at Worlds. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, they flew me down here, got this room.
And then I didn't compete. I proceeded not to compete or like promote their yo-yos at all. And I was on I took heroin in my boxer shorts on the airplane to Orlando that year,
Jesus Christ.
and was snorting heroin in the bathroom the whole contest. By the last day I had run out and I was just sick. So like for finals, I watched Jensen's 1A final, which was the year before he won Worlds.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so sick. But I was like literally sick. And I remember like telling him that was amazing, dude. Like I was nose running. Like I was like, that was awesome. And he was just so upset. Like he hated that, he knew he didn't win. He's like, well, thanks, but whatever. And then I just like went and threw up and like
Jesus
slept and then I went home. But yeah, so it was horrible. There's like a couple pictures of me from that contest. Oh God, dude, like so fucked up. But anyway, so I joined him and then I just emailed Kia. And I was just like, and I didn't have any other way to contact him, but still, it's like a sensitive talk. And I was just like, hey man, I'm gonna have to leave. Like, I didn't really give him much of anything, and I'm not sure if he even answered me.
Yeah,
Or if he was just like, sorry to see you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're a kid.
I just Yeah, it was just like very sudden, and out of we were literally like our last email was like discussing Jake Zilla, and then out of the blue, I'm just like, hey, I'm leaving and joining a different team. Like, see ya. So
He must have assumed like, man, he's probably gonna join Yo-Yo Factory or something
Yeah,
like something
or-
way bigger than Anti-Yo.
nah,
And it's like
Yo-Yo
no.
Factory never had any interest, but rightfully so. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm embarrassed by it now, and I actually like talked to Key about it. And I was sort of like, so you know, like,
Yeah.
because I appreciate so much what he and Sonny did for me, like changed my life and spent a lot of money on me, and it was like really nice stuff. So
I mean,
for it to end that way, it was unfortunate, but
yeah.
you know,
He
remember the
also
good
knows
times,
you're a kid,
and
like,
he knows,
he's not gonna
yeah.
hold that against you. Or
No,
be like,
he doesn't at
that's-
all, and we're on good terms. Like
Yeah.
nothing bad, but it was still kind of jarring to discover those emails because I was like, God damn, I was more fucked than I thought. Like, I knew I was bad, but like it was just not cool behavior for me at all. And I treated Stu like shit too, because like I joined his. He spent a good amount of money getting me down there, and I didn't do shit for his at all. Like most people don't know I was ever on Word. You know what I mean?
mean,
Like I did nothing to help them.
If a handful of people saw you throwing their yo-yos at the
Maybe.
time, you were very popular.
Yeah.
Players. Like I'm sure.
I
it
made a
sold-
couple like trash ass videos with Word yo-yos, but
Yeah.
I really did not take it seriously whatsoever. I was like, this is a joke, this is beneath me, and that's like so fucked up. Like it wasn't at all.
He
You know
said
what I
this is a
mean?
joke. This is
But it's not the case at all. Like they're great, and he was so cool to me, and I loved everyone on that team. But
Stu also like didn't really make a run as being a company until like
later, yeah.
2011 or
Yeah.
2012.
So I missed the prime, but he sent me a Pacquiao that was a sick yo-yo, super lightweight, like
Yeah.
organic. I love that one. And then I played with like the two fat ladies, but obviously without the beefcake. I just put a concave in it. I was like, this beefcake shit's weird, but those two fat lady yo-yos are fun. They're just like
They
big,
are,
organic, nice. They played nice. They were smooth and like, but yeah.
And he was really good at like random bits and pieces of marketing when it came to like making really unique finishes. And
yeah,
like,
the one was a
packaging was
groovy
always
lady,
really
so it was
cool.
like completely grooved the
Yeah.
whole body. I really liked that one, and he had hub sacks on him too,
Yeah.
like Jimmy hats. They were, but I guess I'm technically still on Word because I don't think he never officially kicked me off, and I never quit. So
Oh
Word
my
Alliance.
God. Word Alliance.
W.
Yeah, I definitely quit Save Death for not a similar reason, but like like we were making the yo-yo with Spy Steve at the time, the Trainwreck 2. We made the Trainwreck 1.
Whoa, did Trainwreck 2 ever come out?
It did, but it was like right as they were like making that. I think maybe they came out like at Worlds 2009, and that was like my first official Worlds on Yo-Yo Factory. Because like we had worked it out to a point where it was like basically production ready, and they were about to like hit the go button to make them, and then I was just like, oh, I gotta do something else. Like this doesn't feel like it's the best use of my time. Like because it was a similar thing like with Anti-Yo, where when you're a young kid, you just 6 months feels like an eternity.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like it just felt like they were taking forever, and like it was like a lot of communication going back and forth, and like when you're a kid you don't understand anything about production or how any of that
Yeah.
stuff works, so it's just like, okay, cool, like yeah, but like you're trying to make all these pitches and things you would think are cool and work really well with the yo-yo, but like you're kind of, it's like,
You're asking for unrealistic shit.
yeah,
half the
right.
time, yeah.
And it's not always yo-yoers, especially. It's not like they were. I think Seth may have been like 23 at the time or something, or maybe 22. So he was like old, but not old, and he was like, you know, a kid still too, you know. And then Spy Steve was maybe like 33 or something. He was like older than us, but
Yeah.
not like insane. So we were all still relatively young, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was just like, oh, like this is taking a long time. Like I don't want my name on it, whatever. Like you can still
And was
make
this
it.
07?
Oh, 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Wow, you stayed on Save Death through your Worlds win. Or this
Right
was all
after,
right
like-
after, yeah.
yeah, I
The train wreck was after you won World.
yeah, it was
Okay.
ECC like
Oh,
early
right.
2008.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't
Which is a
realize.
pretty quick turnaround for
Yeah.
a pro model.
And that
like-
was made by Spy?
yeah.
That first one was weird. It was kind of a weird yo-yo.
It was
Did you
very
ever
weird.
really use it?
I did, yeah,
Yeah?
believe it or not, yeah.
It was just, I remember like being pumped for it, and I really liked the art and the colors, but the yo-yo, like the shape was kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Or like the size, it was smaller, but smaller yo-yos were popular then, but it was kind of small diameter, wasn't it?
I think it was like 50. I tried to make it as close to the Hitman as possible.
Interesting.
Which is an
I'd like to
undersized
see
yo-yo
one
by
again. You should
today's-
bring one up if you have one.
I do, yeah.
I'd love to try. Do you have a second one too, Proto?
No,
No?
I don't.
Damn.
No.
So curious what that would have been like.
It was better, believe it or not. Like, it was, but it was like still not a great yo-yo, you know what I mean? Like, not as good as any of the yo-yo. That was the other thing, was like Ben, like one time, like I emailed Ben like asking if I could like buy pads off of him, which was kind of like a
Testing the water.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, where it was just like, oh, like I wonder what
Opening the line of community. I did
Right.
shit like that. Yeah, like
Yeah, and then he's like, oh yeah, just give me an address, and literally like I was having problems even like getting Steve to reply to my emails and like sending Ben a message of like, oh, can you send me some pads? And he like instantly, like an hour later, there was a tracking number in my email box, and then like 3 or 4 days later I had like a whole box of like 2 or 3 new superstars. Like that was like right after Ando won World, so that was like the hypest yo-yo at the time. And then like an 888 and a DV888 and like 400 or 500 strings, and like it was insane. Like, as someone who, I was on like a team that was like basically a bunch of other kids like me who were like struggling to make things work and trying to do everything on a budget, to like this company that just got millions of dollars from Hasbro. It's like, oh yeah.
That's so funny that you said that about the email, because I found one too when I was looking through old shit from like 2009 or 10 to Chris at CLYW, where I was just like, I wasn't asking for it, but I know in hindsight the reason I sent it was to try to like open a line to me.
Right, yeah.
But I was just asking about buying one of their new yo-yos direct. It might have been a Yeti or like something weird. I was like, can I get one of those just from you? And he just sent me one for free, you know, but I was hoping like, oh, maybe we'll start talking here about, you know, working together. But at that time I was way not doing anything, so it was just a fantasy. But I did that same kind of shit.
I had like a weirdly open-ended offer to get on Caribou Lodge like right before I won Worlds, because like they only had the peak out, and then Boyd had his the Bear vs. Man prototype. They didn't have like the actual production yet, and like they were trying to figure out who else to add to the team. And like it was maybe gonna be like me, Joey, and Sebastian. Yeah. And then like I used a Duncan yo-yo at Worlds, and like Chris had sent me a Bear vs. Man that like right after I won Worlds, I want to say. Yeah. And then like I think it was because like Boyd and I were like romantically interested in the same girl, that Boyd was kind of like, nah, fuck that guy. Like I didn't ask to get on anyway. It was kind of like I don't know, like Caribou Lodge wasn't at the time what it is now. It was just, it would have been equivalent to like getting on H-Spin or something at the time. So I was like, oh yeah, like that sounds cool, but they make one yo-yo
no, there's
year, so
no
like,
one ever saw that coming in.
Right, no. And I knew that like after I won Worlds, I could like get on any team I want to do besides Duncan's.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I kind of remember that being a thing, and like Chris kind of still mentioning at the time whenever we hang out, like, yeah, if you ever like want to talk about things, like hit me up, let me know, blah blah blah. And I was like, damn, thanks, man, cool. And then Joey would still get like yo-yos occasionally from him, like every once in a while. I think Joey, like he gave him a painted peak, I want to say, like when all those painted peaks were happening, like he gifted Joey one at the time, which was really cool of Chris. Yeah. But like I sent a similar email like you said, but I sent it to like Steve, and I don't think I quit Save Death at the same time though. Like I think I called Seth about that and was basically like, yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get on Yo-Yo Factory, like sorry. And I felt hurt and bummed out because like Seth was my best friend. He's still my best friend. Yeah, he's gonna watch this. Maybe he'll have I don't even remember if it was a phone call or not. It might have been over instant messenger, to be honest, because we were so.
That's what I mean. Real quickly, I just remembered another email I discovered. And I'll let you get back to your. It's okay. I was just, on drugs and a dumb stoner, and I found an email I sent Kia where I'm like, hey Kia, I was thinking it would be kind of funny if we released the Jake Zilla on 420 maybe, because Antio always released yo-yos on holidays.
Mhm.
Like the Bape came out on like Christmas, and there's Thanksgiving, and there was like a 4th of July one. So it fit in, but I was such a dumb stoner. I thought that was important enough to send an email just about that. Just like,
It's a funny
Hey,
16-year-old kid.
yeah,
thing to
I was
think,
like, what do you think? We maybe drop it on 420? And he just answered the one sentence. He's like, I fucking hate weed culture, and I would never do something like that. I was like, God. So we were like button heads on a couple different things. Like, I was like, oh shit, because that's when I learned like Kia doesn't smoke, was not into that. He just didn't like stoners and shit, but I didn't pick up on that. Really.
If you think the culture is bad now, it was like I couldn't imagine what it was like living in the Bay Area in the 80s and 90s, where it's just like
I remember
everyone's into Sublime and the Grateful Dead and shit. What were you saying? You remember what?
Mark Mont. What's up, Mark Mont? He after I think it was like Nationals 2016, he was just like, he judged it afterward. He was just like, yo, like Kurti and Paulo were just way too stoned on stage. He's like, everyone could just tell this is a bad look.
Yeah, Mark didn't start smoking weed till he was in his 30s. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Then like we went to Cleveland Worlds. I was like smoking with him.
Yeah, that was
like,
one of the
wow,
weirdest like changes I've ever seen an adult go. Like, he just loves weed now. It's awesome. But good for him. I'm glad he found his thing. But damn.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I said, if I called him and quit, I honestly think it may have been over instant message, because it's just like, did you ever, like, I'm sure you did this plenty of times, like you'd send an instant message and like it said the other person read it or whatever, or like it's just lingering there, like someone's typing for a long time and you're just like, oh god, what are they gonna say? What's happening? Like,
they throw up an away message.
Yeah.
Dinner, BRB.
That's so funny. Yeah, so I don't remember. Maybe I'll have to ask Seth, or maybe Seth will. I'm sure once he listens to this, he'll chime in. But yeah, I don't exactly remember how I quit, but it was like I think I told Steve beforehand, like, I don't want my name on the Trainwreck 2 anymore. Like, you guys can still make it. Like, I don't want any royalties from it. Like, I just don't want to be associated with it anymore. Like, I'm moving on and doing something else. And Steve like understood, because he was like an adult and was like, yeah, I know, like, this stuff takes a long time. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was even apologetic for like taking so long to reply to emails. Like, I think even that email saying I didn't want it anymore took him like a week to reply to, probably because he was bummed out afterwards too. And that was before Spy was even really a big deal. I think they had like
the Radiant and the Addict probably, and that's about
Spider.
It. Yeah.
Remember that yo-yo? It was a great yo-yo.
The Addict was good too. Horrible name, but good yo-yo.
All those yo-yos were really good. Yeah, didn't he try to sell the company on B-Dot, or was that on eBay? I forget, for like 10 or 20 grand or something. He's like, you can have all the designs. Like, I
think so. Yeah. Yeah, I love interesting.
He should just make them like not himself, but like just make a new run of them in China. You know what I mean?
I know. I should talk to him, but
like, people would nostalgically be into it again.
For sure, now's the time.
Right.
What was your Yo-Yo Factory deal like on the tape? Were they like, if you come over, we'll get you a signature yo-yo? Was there any talk of that before you joined, or did you just sort of trust?
I just trusted, and I joined at the time when it was still very exclusive.
Right.
Like, the only people that were on the team were like me, Yuki, Augie, Vashek, Miguel, Kentaro,
Jason.
Even Jason wasn't still, like, he was doing his own thing, kind of. I think
he had joined the Navy and sort of left the country.
Is Jason Lee your favorite yo-yo?
Yes. Okay. Is that why you're...
Yeah, I was wondering, because you sent a text earlier about Jason Lee. I was like, is he your favorite yo-yo?
Yeah.
Or are we just going to be, is Jason Lee a whole topic?
Oh,
today?
No. I knew the answer. I was like, he just wrote his answer down.
Right. I think like most people who were on the team at the time were either world or national champions. Like, we used to kind of like riz Pat Mitchell because he didn't win nationals or worlds yet, and then he got a national title that year or whatever, and it was like, okay, cool. Like, and it was like very exclusive at the time, and then like throughout the next year, they just started adding people like crazy, and then like by 2011 or 2012, it was like everyone, and if you were like close homies
they
with
poached
someone on the
everyone
team,
from Yo-Yo Jam.
yeah, like you could just get on the team, and it was like, all right, cool, like. And the first 2 years, like the benefits were insane. Like they would fly us everywhere. They were paying for hotel rooms everywhere. Like they still paid for hotel rooms when we went to Worlds and stuff. Like they would get whatever 4 or 5 rooms and then make everyone work it out. And then like Anne would get her own room or whatever. But yeah, after there's fucking 30, 40 people on the team, you can't be paying for everyone's flight to World. You can't be paying, and I can't even think of a good. I was gonna say Ebes, but like you can't be paying for randos. Flights to Worlds, and I don't know, like Nehemiah Petersons and people like that. Yeah, the first 2 years were crazy just because, and the company made more money the longer I was there too, because like they were selling a lot of yo-yos at the time, but it was like the team was just so heavy. Like it was just a very industrious time in yo-yo where like it's similar to now where like if anybody just shows like the slightest bit of promise or like one of their videos goes viral, like every major company like offers to sponsor them kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I don't know, where the fuck is Stony Mac now? Like...
Damn.
Oh yeah.
You remember? Yeah,
I already forgot about Stony Mac.
Right.
God damn.
Even Bella, like she's great, but it's like,
what happened to her?
She still posts like every day, but I get more views on my organically derived follower base than like her 100K of people who just tapped follow when Instagram was competing with TikTok, and I don't know.
And then how'd you leave Yo-Yo Factory?
That was just an email to Ben, but like he apparently already knew that I was like starting Recess, which like
you had already moved to Philly?
Yeah. Or I was living with a girl in New Jersey at the time, but yeah, I got laid off from Yo-Yo Factory December of 2014, and then like
oh damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why you say it like that? What do you
I
mean?
just didn't know. I thought you quit and joined and started Recess. I didn't realize like you just kind of stopped working there, and then
I mean, no, it wasn't like I stopped. Like they were like, hey, like there's no budget to like pay you for this next year. So like it was like they didn't like fire me, but it was like we were growing apart, you know what I mean? And like I was doing more demos and stuff and like selling more yo-yos on my own and like doing things. Like the model was just changing, or like my job wasn't like bringing in a ton of sales, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like kind of hard for them to justify, even though it was like a paltry amount of money, paying me what they were paying me to be like, oh yeah, like just keep doing demos and go into 100 libraries a year. And like,
and you said that was December 2014.
Yeah, when I was home because my mom was passing away.
I didn't want to say it, but like, dude, and then 1 year prior, like that's rough.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I was literally like out on the porch smoking and like looking in at like my mom on like a hospice bed, and then I get an email from Hans like, hey bud, we can't afford to pay you anymore. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god.
Wow.
Losing my whole nuclear family, my job.
Not funny at all.
No, it's very funny. It's just it's a crazy series of events, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I remember calling Pat Mitchell and like kind of like not getting upset or like irate at him, but I was like, bro, like you had to have known this was happening or this was coming up, like, and it's not like I don't understand why, but like you guys couldn't have waited till like January or like at least when I came back and had a conversation in person about it.
That's
like,
wild. Wow, your bedside like to say.
Yeah,
it's pretty surprising, honestly.
No, it's not. I mean, I
guess it's pretty bad.
Hans used to fire people like when they would be going to leave at the end of the day. He'd be like, hey, we don't need you to come in next week. Like he fired like 2 or 3 people that way. Like we had this Indian bookkeeper who like she was just like a contracted employee. Like she wasn't on payroll. Like they were just paying her. Like they had her.
So there's like usually laws about firing your employees, right? Like
no, Arizona's a right to work state. You can fire them at any time for any reason.
Okay.
Whoa,
all right.
Fucking Arizona, bro. What the fuck?
So this Indian lady was like a friend of Hans's. Like I forget how. I think she was like somehow connected to the injection molder, the people who made plastic yo-yos for us when they were made in America. And she was going on vacation to India. And when she was getting ready to leave, she was like all happy and bubbly. And I like made a joke because like Miguel and I were working there together at the time. I was like, don't get got over there. And she was like, what does that mean? And I'm like, it means like, you know, don't get kidnapped or anything like that, you know? And she's like, oh, it's fine. Like India's a safe place, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But then like she came home from India and then like walked into work on whatever day. And then Hans fired her. And like, I was just coming back from like the anodizer and saw her like peel out of the parking lot. And I was like,
damn.
well, I guess they fired Shirley. Like,
Wow.
and then there was another guy, like the guy who did all my tattoos. They were trying to find a new shipping guy at the time. Because like shipping was just always like whoever they could fucking finagle into getting it done. Because like it was not an idealistic job. It was kind of fucking torture, especially in the Arizona heat.
Yeah.
And most of the time where you did it had to be in an area where like it wasn't air conditioned or something. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
So the guy who did my tattoos, like he worked for like a hotel doing like what was he doing? Like grounds work, or like he was basically like a handyman around like the hotel kind of thing. And then Ben was like, oh, like we should hire him to do shipping. And then I'm like, I don't really know about that. Like he's a fine guy, but he's just not like the most, he's not a go-getter. And like Yo-Yo Factory loves to throw you in the deep end of the pool and watch you swim your way out of there. You know what I mean? And they just didn't listen to Miguel and I. It was like really funny. I still remember being at Starbucks and Miguel and I kind of looking at each other like, this is not going to be good, but like, whatever, fuck it. And then same thing, he worked there for like 6 months and like, there was no like hard press scheduler. No one was really holding you accountable. It would just be like, Pat at the end of the day would walk into the shipping room and be like, hey, Mikey, like, are all those orders boxed up? He's like, oh, no, I didn't get it done yet, man. He was like, what the fuck? And then Pat would, like, rush to get it done or stay late that night to get it done to ship it out the next day. And I think he only worked there for, like, 6 or 7 months before they fired him. And same thing, like, it was a Friday, and then Hans was just like, hey, bud, we don't need you to come in next week. Like, and he, like,
it's
quit.
so weird to like, just pull people randomly like that. I don't know.
Right, he like quit his job and like all kinds of shit to like work at Yo-Yo Factory and like moved out of his parents' house because like, yeah, it was just crazy. I forget how I think Seth, they actually like sat down because Seth was like trying to make more money and Seth would keep like negotiating, or it was like, I think Seth worked there for like a year and a half or 2-ish years, something like that. But he was like always like, hey, like when am I going to get paid more? Like I really want to get paid more. Like, hey, I worked really hard and here's like the analytics of how much progress we've made as me doing these roles, so how can I get paid more? And then they just have certain jobs where like they don't believe that you should make more than like X amount of dollars, so it's like they just refuse to pay.
What did Seth do there?
He was like team manager, graphic designer, content creator, like a little bit of jack of all trades.
What was that, like 2012?
20, like end of 2011 maybe through like 2013, I want to say.
So he designed some of the graphics from that era?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like he did the new Superstar logo with like the wipe that goes down it. It looks like the F1 logo. Like him and I kind of did that together.
Nice.
Bunch of stuff. Like I can't think of a lot offhand, but like there was a lot at the time that he did, and like he actually, like I said, like when he would go to ask for a raise, it wasn't just like,
yeah,
hey, let me get more money. Yeah, he was prepared, right? And like they were always just kind of like, oh no, like this job can only make. They didn't say this, but like now looking back, it's like I know that that's kind of how they would have used stuff like that. But yeah, like to quit Yo-Yo Factory, like basically, it was funny because in that email, Hans was like, you can stay on the team, but like you just can't work here anymore. And I was just like, what the fuck? Okay.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, and then other people they had given like some kind of a severance to. They would give you like 2 paychecks worth of money to like go about your way. But like Hans, to me, he's like, we'll give you 301 stars that you can sell at schools. Which is like $3,000. Like if I sold them for $10 a piece, right? But like, and I probably did sell them for a good amount of money.
But to him, that's what, $150.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money, right? And it was just like, God damn it, like. we were not financially struggling to that degree that like my fucking $25,000 a year salary would have had to get nixed like that. It was more so like I think the budgeting thing was just like an excuse. He might not even have said that in the email. I think he literally was just like, "Hey, bud, like you kind of knew this was coming, and like it's time for you to like work and be on your own next year." Like it was worded in such like a weird dad kind of way, where it was like, I don't know, like when your parents like are mean about something, but it's like it's for your own good. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what it was and geared toward, but like. And it's been awkward ever. Like Ben and I, like still chat.
But they like knew you were starting recess, or like somehow found out.
No, I didn't think about starting recess till like the end of January or February of 2015. It was like after I'd already gotten.
So it just had nothing to do with that.
No,
okay.
no.
All right.
Nothing to do with it.
That's
yeah.
so. All right.
No,
that's
you're
so
good.
Surprising. Yeah.
I don't know how Ben would have discussed. I mean, yo-yo is a small industry, so everyone that I like told about it was like in my very close circle, so like I couldn't have imagined someone telling someone and it going up the grapevine or whatever. But yeah, like right after I sent the email, and then like I made a post in like the private team forum or whatever, or no, I think Ben made the announcement in the private team forum, was like worst kept secret in yo-yo, and I was just like, cool. Very Ben thing to say, but
Damn.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's a wild ride.
But yeah, and it was cool though, because like I sent the email, like it was all on my birthday. Like I think I sent the email at like whatever 9:00 in the morning, and I already had the recess Instagram like
nice
set aside and ready to go. And then I like posted on my Instagram like, hey, like it was just the recess logo. I'm like, I'm leaving Yo-Yo Factory, but like I'm starting my own thing. Follow my new account. And I had like 1,000 followers in a day. Like it was
hell
pretty
yeah.
tight. Yeah.
That's sick.
But yeah, it was interesting times. Like, I don't know. It was funny. And then I think, like, because I am such, like, an approachable and lackadaisical guy, and everyone just saw me partying for, like, a decade, I think that's a big reason why so many companies spawned up. Because they probably looked at me and were like, well, if Tyler can do it, I can definitely do it. Like, it was also because making a yo-yo is way easier in China now than it was. Like,
yeah.
Even when I started making mine, it was like I had to
Harder.
approach one of the Chinese manufacturers and be like, hey, would you make my yo-yos? And they were like super cool about it and like gave me a huge line of credit and let me run it up and shit. And like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. But yeah, now there's, I think it's, every Chinese manufacturer just hits up yo-yoers that are like pretty proficient. Like, hey, if you ever want to make a yo-yo, let us know.
Yeah.
So funny. FPM, one of their people, a new person, hit me up on Instagram like, we're a big fan, we'd love to make your yo-yos. I'm like, you've been making them for years. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry.
Oh yeah.
You've been making them. You're making one for me now.
Yeah,
dog.
like literally right now they're making one. It was so funny. I was like, yep.
It's cool though that they have so many employees that are like
Yeah.
out there making
Yeah.
it happen for them. But
What
and
about Weighty Bobo? Y'all know
Never.
Weighty Bobo?
no, I don't even know. I don't know who makes those. They're probably an independent manufacturer or something.
It's
but-
just like a Facebook account. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
There's like Augie said something like a year ago. It's like, oh, I want to get sponsored by Weighty Bobo.
Yeah.
And they reposted it. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god! What
They're
about
just the epitome of that brand that like hits everyone up, every pro player. Like, yeah.
yeah? What about you, Kurti? How did you quit Caribou Lodge, and how long was the interim period between you quitting Caribou and then doing? I think you told me this story before about how you were kind of like making prototypes while you were on Caribou Lodge, right? Kind of.
Yeah. And before I was on Caribou Lodge, I was on Chico Yo-Yo Company, actually.
Okay, so how did you quit
So
Chico?
I actually got sponsored by Chico Yo-Yo Company in 2000. I think it was 2012
Mhm.
at PWR, and it was like
2012.
Gentry was using like Chico Yo-Yo Company in 2010, and like I met Gentry and Zach, and like
You were
they got
sponsored-
me sponsored by
I
Chico Yo-Yo
swear
Company.
you were
yeah.
on Caribou Lodge by 2012 already, but I guess not, huh?
I was on Caribou Lodge. I think it might have been 2011. No, I think it was 20. It had to have been 2014 or 2013.
So you've been
Because
doing
it was 2013 when I got on COIW. Yeah.
you've been doing Good Life longer than you were on Caribou Lodge for at this point.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
wild
Oh,
to think
yeah.
about.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was like, yeah, but I was on Chico Yo-Yo Company for like a year or two, and then I quit that. But that's not as exciting. I definitely just quit over like a text. I texted like Zach Rubino, who was like the team captain or whatever at the time.
Left it up to him to go break it to Thad and be like,
Yeah.
Thad, Kurti left.
I was like, you're gonna be at Yo-Yo Club this weekend. Like, just go break the news for me. Right?
Go break the news for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you did that as a direct response to getting offered by COIW?
No.
Or you became a free agent? And
I honestly really like. It sounds like I was at the time. I was like, I want to get on COIW because I played the chief at PNWR. I was like, yo, this Yo-Yo is the best. And then, yeah, I quit Chico Yo-Yo Company, like trying to get on COIW. And then, like, all that versus Newton shit went down with Mater. So Mater got like offered by COIW. I was like, what the fuck? But like at the same time, that was like my in getting like into COIW.
Yeah.
You know?
And was he like competitively besting you at the time, right? He was like placing a little higher
Yeah,
at
maybe
competitions.
I mean, I don't even. Yeah, maybe like a little bit. Yeah.
Or he got like second at a small contest or something, or
I definitely won a few at the same time, but
Okay.
I think he probably was like incrementally.
it was like North Carolina
placing a little
States or
better.
something. He like got top 3 or actually won or something.
He won
We
that
all were
shit.
Like, oh shit, cool.
And then Rhode Island too.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's something like that, yeah. Those small contests
It
can
is-
always like for some reason there'll be like some heat. That's how like we discovered Harold too, was like he competed at one contest before in Indy States one time, and then he like won Indy States and did like a perfect freestyle, and it was like, whoa, this guy is really good. Like we should add him to the team. Like
It's always those like the small contests someone practices way too hard for, and
Right,
then
yeah.
it's like, god damn, all right. Yeah, but that was like so Mater was like he helped me out big time, and like he was like always just mentioning my name to Chris.
yeah.
I made the video that was like intro to 2013 or whatever.
I watched that not long ago. That was cool because I didn't see it when it came out, but the
Hey.
video that like got you on, I think, or
Yeah.
maybe I watched the first video you did with the announcement video. Did you make a video when you got on COIW where you're like out in the snow?
I think that's the one.
Yeah, I watched that one.
And it was like
Somewhere deep on my hard drive is a bunch of footage from you and Mater at Yo-Yo Joe's back around that time too. I want to say it was like 2012 maybe though, something like that.
yo, yeah, you sent me that like a year
Yeah.
or two ago, dude. Yeah, I was like mind blown. That's super cool.
I need to cut that together. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was so I mean, yeah, Mater just like helped me out big time, and like I think it was like 4 or 5 months after Mater got on COIW, I got on. It was like yeah, right. It was like Nats 2013. So it was like 2013 was when I like made the video and everything, and I think Jensen said something to Chris and was like, yo, like we can't sleep on Kurti anymore. And then Chris hit me up. And that was sweet, dude. I remember getting like a giant package in, and I was like just blown away, kind of like what you were saying with Yo-Yo Factory. I was like, whoa, like this is such a big impression and the real deal. And like there was like one of ones in there. It was just like, I don't know, it was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you quit though? Like, how did you? I guess you probably would have quit to Steve at the time or whatever, because Steve was team manager. Or
Yeah, it was like 2015. And
really, I thought it was 2016.
or 2016. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
2016.
because your
actually.
Yo-Yo came out like PNWR 2016, I think.
Because I had a gully at
Probably.
Worlds in Cleveland, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think. Or I got my gully there.
Well, that was 2016 then. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it was like 2015 because I was in high school. It was like my senior year of high school. I definitely remember thinking like, I want to do my own thing, you know. And Jensen was like, I remember him messaging me on Facebook and being like, "Yo, dog, like this shit doesn't end well." Like, he's like, "Look how it's turning out for me. Look how it turned out for Yuki." Like, he's like, "Gotta do your own
Look
thing."
how it turned out for me and Yuki both.
Yeah.
Could have been ridiculously successful in our own right and still had a huge presence in Yo-Yos. Jensen still has a
It's
massive
true.
presence in Yo-Yo. Like,
No, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild. Yuki does like he has such a big name. He could do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes and no. Like, I feel like he got a pro model in Caribou Lodge that came and gone, and I know it wasn't like he designed the kayak or whatever, but like still.
Yeah. But
Real quick, your pro model we were talking about last time. I really liked that yo-yo, the Igloo. Is it true that you get to keep your signature model design? Like, could you make that yo-yo under Good Life?
when I quit, like that was like the one thing Steve said. He's like, "All right, like we're gonna send you the CAD for the Igloo." Yeah,
so you could do that.
Yeah, yeah,
dude, that's kind of cool.
That would be.
Tyler mentioned that. I thought that I had never heard that, but that's cool.
That's so funny. All right, Mike, we're gonna send you the CAD for the Igloo. Like,
that yo-yo is so good. But we were talking on the last pod. I was like, I tried it when I met you at Virginia States. Whenever it came out, it was around that time. I was like, "This is the best yo-yo I've ever used." And then I was like, "Oh, it's like $150 or something." It was like really expensive. I remember.
It was like the first made in China Caribou that, and like Mater's, yeah.
But it was like 140 or something, wasn't it? It was over. Yeah, it was so high.
I think it was 160.
Because I had like just kind of come back. It was one of my first contests back, and I was like, "That is like more than I've ever heard a yo-yo costing." I was like, "I can't." That's crazy.
at the time,
but it was so good.
Chris was paying Dave Geigel a royalty on all the yo-yos and all the Pixel bearings, because Pixel bearings were an iYoYo collab at the time, and then also because he was using the same factory as iYoYo, or he asked Dave like, "Oh, I really like the quality of your yo-yos. What factory do you use?" And then I guess Dave just kind of dicked him, was like, "I'll tell you."
Played like a middleman.
Yeah, I don't think he was communicating for Chris or anything. I just think he
but
was
like
if
took a finder's fee, basically.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And then like at PNWR, I was like, "Chris, don't pay him that. Like that's outrageous. Like why are you doing that?" Like,
yo, master finesse, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, that's insane. There's so many factories in, because I think it was like maybe he was using Tapio or whatever.
It was like FPM. Even,
no, it was
right?
before they used FPM, because at that PNWR I was telling them, like, FPM can like Pantone match colors. They're really good. That's who made this new yo-yo of mine, the Komodo. Like,
okay,
you should try them. And then he was like,
love the Komodo.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a pixel bearing?
It was basically like
what makes it special?
Nothing. It was basically just like a concave, but like it has like ridges all the way up. It kind of looks like a pixelated.
Oh right,
concave,
yeah. He's paying for that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember like in the chat, in the team chat, one day Peter was like, "Hey, like, is anyone having problems with pixel bearing?" Like everyone was like, "Yes, yes, yes."
Do they still use those? They use center tracks, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kicked them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good bearings by any means.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then, so you quit pretty soon after Igloo?
And then, oh yeah. So it was probably like a year or two after. I think I quit. It was like 2016, maybe the beginning of 2016, or like maybe the end of 2015. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I just like, I think I just like texted Steve and Chris, and then I like said something in the group chat. I was like, "Hey guys, like I love you all. Like I'm trying to move on and do my own thing." And they were all like, "Okay, bye, Kurti."
I killed my girlfriend. I'm going to jail.
Like just all,
bro,
just keeping them. Yeah, totally. It was a very elusive way to quit.
You have the nicest story of all of us three.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like the most wholesome.
He was a little older than us, so like I don't know,
a little
hair older, just a little bit, but it must have been because the PNWR I'm talking about was PNWR 2016. Like I went with my girlfriend at the time. I had a booth. I was playing with your yo-yo.
Okay.
It must have been 2016, I think. It definitely was. It definitely was, because Chris and I had the falling out later that year before Worlds, and like that was kind of like one of the ways I was insulting him, was like making him insecure about making yo-yos in China, because everyone was giving him shit about it, and I was just like, good luck with that. Like, well, retrospectively, very dickhead move, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I had like it was actually, I don't know if I did have the goalie proto.
So you don't really remember the lineage of goalie prototypes? I swore you showed me one that you? Oh, maybe you said there is like the second or third round by the time you quit or something.
Yeah, I might have had a prototype in 2016.
Because
I don't remember.
I swear the story you told me was like you were kind of like pitching a new CAD to them, and they were like, "Oh, this is cute. Like, yeah, maybe we'll try it eventually." And then you just like went and got it made, and you're like, "I can just make this shit." Like,
I was not. I made the goalie CAD. Like,
yeah, no, I know. That's what I was
All
saying.
right,
Is
yeah.
I swore that you pitched it to Caribou Lodge. It's like, oh, maybe this can be one of my next runs of yo-yos or whatever.
no, not really.
No?
I actually like when I quit, they were like offering a sub brand, and I was like, oh no, I just want to like do it on my
Oh
own.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't remember in 2016. It was like the first. I might have had the first prototype, but like by 2017, Iceland, I remember telling the factory to like ship them to Iceland Worlds, and that was like the third prototype. So it was like that was the first or one of the first contests where like everyone tried the goalie that was like closest to production. Then it was probably like 6 months after that we got the final run in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember by Virginia States the next year, everything was like solidified. And did you win Virginia States? That no, it was like a couple years later.
Yeah, that was a couple years later. Yeah, but that was like the first Good Life contest for
Virginia
That was the first
States,
contest for
yeah.
Good Life. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so bummed Virginia States isn't a thing anymore. It doesn't make sense to
Gosh.
do it anymore. But what?
Yeah, well, this past year it didn't happen. I was super bummed. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was just we all kind of like realized, me and all the scales guys, like we're like literally at the contest and we're like looking over the list of competitors, and then we're like, there's not one fucking person from Virginia on this list. Like, why did we do this? Like, everyone has to drive super far out of their way, come down here. Like, it is like they do have like a little club down there now, which
They have cookout, bro.
they do have cookout. Yeah, I forget. It's a pretty popular club. Probably like 25 people go to it, but it's like, I don't know. Like they can run it on their own though, or like I don't know. Does that really justify a contest? Like just because there's a yo-yo club in town?
At this point, it's just the tradition of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like it's hard to keep doing that when it's like you're an adult and it takes time out of your life, and like because you want to do it right. I don't want to just like post about it and then never.
Where's Tony when you need him?
He came.
He ran that forever. That's crazy. How many sub brands has CLYW had? Just the two? Just Pool Party and Heaven Sent?
Yeah.
Is there any other secret ones I don't know about?
No. I already forgot about Pool Party.
It's cool
honestly.
that they did sub brands though.
Pool Party was like a direct,
very short lived, right?
It was, but it was also like a direct. It wasn't a diss, but it was just like
with Recess.
Yeah, because like my brand was very like nonchalant, didn't care, like it's all fun and cartoony, and then like that's kind of what like he tried to do with that brand, and it was like
it's kind of true.
Even like the artwork, like that was right after I had Paul do a bunch of artwork for me, and then it's like Chris went and got him to do all the branding and artwork for Pool Party, and it's like cool.
I think that was Chris like right before he got a real job too.
Yeah,
so he was just
he
like,
was,
fuck it, like
yeah,
we're
he's trying to figure out what to do,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like maybe this will make me fall in love with it again, but. It's funny because at the time I didn't really put two and two together until like a few years later.
You said that.
And then I was just like, even the Pool Party in itself is like kind of like a recess, you know? It's a form of a recess, like for adults. Like,
never really thought of it that way. Yeah,
it's so funny, and it's like, bro, come on, man.
Damn,
call it game time, game night. I don't fucking know. Adult Swim would be a sick name for a yo-yo company if it wasn't already such a established Cartoon Network thing. It would be a cool name for like a yo-yo in general, but I feel like that's such a direct bite though, you know what I mean? Like there's so many other things, like I don't know, Dunk doesn't relate to like the Nike sneaker at all or basketball, so like it doesn't really make it doesn't hit the same as you being like, oh, Dunk is a popular sneaker, I'll call my yo-yo the Dunk. It's just like a cool name, you know what I mean? And obviously now you've like built out so many variations and stuff. There's like no possible similarities, but anyway.
Damn. Well, that was a good topic, Tyler.
Yeah. We could have done a whole episode on that, honestly, I feel like, but
yeah.
it'll be good. All right, last one. Well, who's your yo-yo goat? Your personal goat, not the goat, because I feel like that's a debate into the heavens is who would be the goat. But who's your personal goat? And like you guys said, mine is Jason Lee.
I'm gonna go pee and think about it.
Okay.
You guys go first.
Gosh, that's such a tough question.
It is, and I mean, I don't know, because there's different, like, I don't know, like if I had to pick like a 5A one, it would probably be like John Robb or someone, or like I don't know, but yeah, Jason is definitely my 1A one.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, Jake Elliott's pretty awesome.
Really?
It's such a weird person to say.
That's a crazy one for you, or just in gen for 5A? You mean? Or
I mean, I don't know. I kind of like his energy sometimes.
no, Jake is great.
He's pretty awesome. But like a personal, just like yo-yo player, probably Takeshi. Honestly,
Really?
yeah. It's like I probably have watched way more Takeshi than anyone else.
He is really good at 1A now. So
and just like between everything.
I was such a Takeshi hater when he first started getting really good at 1A, because I was just like, he's not really that good. He just like is very good at trick like construction. You know what I mean? Like when I'd watch his tricks, I would just be like, cool. Like it's very regular. You know what I mean? And then like once I don't know. You think I'm crazy?
No. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I did not expect Jake Elliott.
Like Worlds 2015, 14 was the first year he competed in 1A, something like that.
2013. Or wait, no, you're talking about Takeshi?
Yeah.
It was I think it was 2012.
1A?
He might have not made it to finals, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
Whatever
year, the first year he made it to finals, then like he got second or third or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And, like everyone
In
was
Prague.
like, damn. Yeah, Prague. Okay, so
Yeah.
2014, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it was just very simple at the time, I feel like. I don't know. Like Yo-Yo was headed in a more tech direction, and he was kind of taking it back a step and like being more focused. Kind of like how Ando was, you know what I mean, when he first came out. So but Ando's like tunnels and stuff were kind of undeniable. So I just remember.
It's also rare when like a player does something that's like so unique, but like keeps up with the system too. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like Takeshi was really like to this day. Takeshi tricks are like everywhere.
Right,
you know?
Yeah. He's probably the most influential player than like Kieran or Bergie rather.
Sometimes they go hand in hand though too. Like
Kieran and Takeshi.
Oh no, sorry, not.
Oh no, okay.
I'm just talking about what it's like. Sometimes like a player that's like really innovative does well because of that, and then other times it's like a player who's not so innovative does well because. You know what I mean? They stayed away from it. I don't know. They sometimes go hand in hand and sometimes don't.
I don't know why I felt that way at the time. I may have just been like a hater and like pulling Aaron Bendit, because like Aaron was just like, this guy's the fucking best. He's so good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he's kind of simple though, don't you think? And you know how Aaron can get. He'd be like, what? Like, you're crazy. Like, why would you? No way. This guy is the fucking best right now. And I was like, for real? You think he's the best? Like, I don't think anybody else is better than him. And I don't know. Yeah, he's really good. Like, I love his yo-yoing, Takeshi. Like, and he's still amazing. He's better than ever these days, but...
Yeah, he's definitely probably my GOAT.
Okay. That's a really good one. That didn't even come up on my radar, but... It's kind of crazy how if a player isn't with a more established brand, like, their resonance doesn't carry as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Takeshi...
Because Takeshi was on Yo-Yo Jam. Like, that was when he started competing in 1A.
Really? In 2013? Or
yeah, there was
like... He did in final? Because 2014 definitely would have used the Turning Point yo-yo, right?
There was the Quest. I think that was like...
Yeah, his yo-yo at the time.
Yeah.
But then 2014, he definitely would have been Turning Point, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... What were you saying? How, like, some brands... Or when, like, someone from a not established brand does really well?
Established might not be the right word, if that was the word I used.
Turning Point's established, but it's just a low key.
Well,
Okay,
right,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
They're not doing the same marketing that like a Caribou Lodge or a Yo-Yo Factory.
They don't do
is,
any
and, like,
marketing that I know.
Right,
of. Maybe
yeah.
Twitter, but like they just drop yo-yos.
Yeah. And like occasionally a video, and it's mostly like
they don't even
Takeshi.
have an Instagram. I don't think.
I think they do. Maybe.
Do they?
I'm not sure.
I'm not
I'm
sure.
really not sure, but
Yeah.
Takeshi's the only person that can charge for a yo-yo video, and people will pay for that shit.
Yeah.
True.
That alone is saying something.
Yeah, that really is. It's kind of funny to think about in yo-yo like
Although
that.
Kieran could do that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Kieran definitely could too, which is surprising he hasn't yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, honestly.
he's probably got so much backup content. Like, he could just go through his phone and go through his
Yeah.
camera reel and be
Yeah.
like, put up a video for $10 and he'd probably make like $1,000 or
Easy.
more.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I have two answers
Yeah, what
just to
about
keep it
yours?
interesting. My like normal answer and then like a deep cut kind of fun answer. But my normal answer is just maybe to be expected, but Yuki Spencer, just because he's like my desert island. If I had to watch one person yo-yo the rest of my life, I could only pick one.
Yeah.
It would just be him. He gets me the most excited to yo-yo myself, just watching him.
I haven't watched him in years, but like,
It just
He's
it
still
like
so good.
hypnotizes me,
Yeah.
dude. Like I just can't comprehend it, but also it makes perfect sense.
And
A lot of
he's-
his tricks,
yeah,
like
he does fully freestyle, just that's how he yo-yos. Like,
Right.
he doesn't ever do the same thing twice.
it's my favorite thing in the world watching him in person. Just yo-yo, not like his freestyle or like thought that just like while he's talking to you, what he's
Right.
doing is like next level.
His style is so good. Like, I can
yeah.
just see it now, like him yo-yoing and like the way he would like tilt his head and like
Yep,
think about
and
something
hold
while he's
his hand.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Or like having like the slack come out or something and just like keep yo-yoing.
And he does
and,
like he has these 3D slacks where his like fingers will be like, I don't know, everything about it is like,
everything. Yeah.
it really makes me feel good.
The
and I
first
love watching.
time, the first contest Jensen was on Yo-Yo Factory BAC 2010. Yuki was there too, and like we all were staying at the same hotel Yo-Yo Factory booked for us, and it was crazy because like Jensen was just like very sure of himself and like hot shit at the time, which he was, and deservingly so. Like, he should have felt that way. But like, he never really watched Yuki yo-yo like that. Like, you just watch him on stage and you're like, I can yo-yo as fast as that guy. Like, I can get as many string hits as that guy.
Yeah.
But when you watch him yo-yo in person and he's just there dicking around, that's like, you're never going to be that good. None of us, you know
No.
what I mean? Like, nobody
There's
is.
that
Like,
feeling, overwhelming feeling, and also it's just beautiful to watch.
Right,
Like, there's
yeah.
no other word. It's beautiful, and he doesn't. There's lots of yo-yoers who, like, if I work really hard and get a trick down, I can film like a nice, great looking, beautiful trick, but just when I'm standing around, like and not paying attention, it's not. But he, even at his like most lackadaisical yo-yo, it's still
it's amazing.
fascinating and beautiful to
Yeah,
watch because
agreed.
it's just his natural speed and his natural level is that high
Yeah.
that it's just all good. Like, there's no bad Yuki. There just really isn't.
Yeah.
Like,
Even like his worst year at Worlds, 2006 Worlds,
yeah, it's
like,
still such a
it's
sick
one of his
freestyle.
best ones.
He has
yeah.
some really good, that
Right.
3D slack I was talking
Yeah.
about. Like, he has great tricks in there.
It's funny, that was like one of the first like massively stolen tricks, that one Yuki like double 1.5 slack thing.
Yeah.
But no one does it like him. Like,
Yeah.
he said he throws it like 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
But everyone else just does it and then it flips over their wrist and comes
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. And then my deep cut. So yeah, you just can't beat Yuki for me. But my deep cut answer for fun would be two guys, Ignitus and Takeshi Kamasato.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I think I watched them even more hours than Yuki. Like, because Yuki didn't have many videos. He had freestyles you could
Yeah.
watch. But Ignitus had a set of videos, and then Takeshi had a ton of videos.
Yeah.
And like, I watched like that Welcome to Naptown. There was like 3 edits of that Takeshi made, and like they were long videos, and he had the skateboarding mixed in, and like, I don't know, his tricks are just also really cool and like more approachable and easy to learn, but super creative. So I don't know those. And then Ignitus is just another guy who has like one of the coolest styles ever. Everything he does looks awesome.
Did you say he ordered a dunk from you or something, or no?
I don't think so.
Or did you go on like a quest to try to find him
I
a few years
got a
ago?
hold of him. His name's Derek Walker, but and we talked a little bit. I think I found him on Instagram. I think he like didn't really want. I was like trying to send him a yo-yo. He's like maybe. He didn't seem that interested. He was like very grateful though, like that I knew who he was. I was like told him how much his videos meant to me and stuff. He's like but he's very much like has a family and is out of it, you know.
Yeah.
But
I remember like right after I won Worlds, like he made like a crazy post on yoyoing.com about like why he left or something, or was
Oh,
like
really?
decided to take a look at the board today because like I was just bored or whatever, and of course everyone just copying each other, everyone's doing the same tricks is exactly why I quit in 2004. Like peace out
Wow.
again for another 5 years.
Damn,
Like, wow.
I didn't know about that. That's some legendary
Yeah.
shit. Holy shit. Well, yeah, he made like three undeniable videos.
He only made 3 videos.
I think. Like he made that Element X video, Electorophobia, and like one other, I think.
Yeah, no, all those videos are amazing.
So good. I
And,
mean,
like,
he invented follow,
Yeah.
that trick, which is
He did 5A Tangler in a
Oh.
video too.
Yeah, he
Remember
did.
that? Yeah. That may have been right around the same time Seth did it or whatever, but
Yeah.
um,
Oh no, he invented. No, that was Andrew Lin invented the double or nothing. Like
dice to mount.
yeah. But yeah, he had some good 5A in that Element X video with some other guy from the Midwest. Was
That's
in that
crazy.
too.
Andrew Lim invented dice to mount. What a
He invented
epic-
angel wings. He invented dice and mat. Like those pure freehand videos were full of like classics. Like,
Yeah,
and he
That's
named them too.
how you had to
4-piece
be-
nunchucks and stuff.
like back in the day, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you couldn't just make. You could make a video you just doing regular tricks or yo-yoing, but it's like cool,
Between him
like-
and Raphael, it's like almost everything everyone does now.
Yeah.
Like basically,
that's crazy
it's wild.
to think about. 5A is better than ever, but it's also like kind
More
of
boring than it. Yeah.
It's boring, and it's like there's certain things that like people do that we would have never thought about doing,
Yeah.
like little faux pas, like things
Yeah.
that like we would consider breaking the rules, or like you got to let go of the counterweight more or whatever, or like they like everyone does this one little trick where like they have a little piece of slack with this hand and the
Yeah.
counterweight's hanging out there too.
Yeah.
And it's like when certain people do it, it does look very cool, but it's like back in the day we just would have made fun of someone doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, bro? Like Cool Whip is like a whole big. It's like 5A 3D whip or
Yeah.
something. It's not like a little teeny tiny
Yeah.
piece of slack.
Well,
that,
everyone's
like-
string is like this long now.
yeah,
so-
true. Yeah,
But there's some good stuff. Like that guy I shared the other day. I can never remember his name, but you commented on it. It was one of those slack
Yes,
tricks.
yeah,
but it was
yeah.
Jihu is crazy.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
him. Yeah, he's
So
so he's my favorite. He's posts every day.
yeah.
Every 5A May, he'll post like. So he has lots of tricks. They're all very good. but-
Guy Wright is another really amazing
Yeah.
player that could be. He's a goat for sure. He's like a lot of people's goats. Was a lot of people's goats back in the day.
Yep. He influenced a lot of the generation like right below us, like
Yeah.
kids starting where like he was the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is definitely
Jason's on deny. He's same as Yuki level.
right. Yeah, Yuki's
They're
like a
on
close
this-
second for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like Jason probably created more tricks
Yeah.
that were a little
Jason
more
is historically-
influential, I guess you
yeah.
could say.
And I think Yuki would agree with you. Yuki's
Yeah.
favorite player, I think, is probably. I think he's told me it's Jason Lee. So like,
Yeah, I can see how their styles are similar in little small ways. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like Yuki's very smooth, but he's also like has like a lot of these crazy sleight of hand jerky
Mhm.
motions that Jason has. Spencer's also a huge one for me. That like
Yeah.
Spencer, I loved. I've
Absolutely.
always loved Spencer. Spencer's amazing. Like Spencer, Yuki, and Jason are probably top 3 for me,
I would say the same.
and then Ando like top 10 somewhere in there.
I would be more than happy with any of those three for my like desert. If I had to pick one person
Yeah.
to watch, I'd be totally fine with any of those three. Like,
Yeah, we should do a whole episode of those, like just people that new players probably aren't very familiar
Yeah.
with, and it's like, all right, this is a goat. Watch these videos.
yeah,
watch them
or maybe we can do another watch along something. But
Yeah, that would be sick.
yeah,
All right, that's it. You want to wrap it up? Do you have anything?
yeah,
else
that was
to add,
another
Kurti?
long one.
No.
I have a funny Jake Elliott story though. While you were saying that you're his
Oh.
goat, I don't know if I ever told you this or not. When I went to Yo.Tricks, he was still working for them, and it was just hilarious because like I went over, like I'm hanging out with Adam for like 2 or 3 days in advance, and like I'm showing Adam all these tricks, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that one's good, but like let's wait till Jake gets here, and we'll like figure out like if this is a trick we want to put on the website or not." And I was just like, "Whatever, it's your guys' website. Like, all right, cool. Like I'll make anything work." Blah blah blah. And it was just really funny because like Jake comes over, and then he's like, "Hey man, like how's it going? What's up?" And we're like talking and shooting the shit for a few minutes. He's like, "Man, like I don't know if there's like any beef with us or anything." Like this is in front of Adam. We're like in a room all together. He's like, "But like I don't have any beef, man. Like I just want you to know, like nothing personal or whatever." Blah blah blah. And I was like. I was laughing at him because I'm just like, what is this? I'm like, no, man, like it's fine, like you're good, like we're straight. I like
Don't flatter yourself, Jake. No,
kind of, yeah. It's just like, bro, trust me. Like, I'm happy that you won Worlds. I'm happy you're good at 5A. Like,
Oh, did he beat you? Did
beat
you
me
compete that year or something?
No, I mean I did. I didn't final in Japan, but he beat me at nationals. I think the second year he was at nationals.
So like, is that what he was referring to? Like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's kind of what I'm like. What? Like what?
We both play 5A and we're white kids.
Yeah.
And we're good.
I think it was just because like we were obviously like I'm very cliquish about yoyos at times, not on purpose, but like I just have my group of friends I hang out with, and that's who it is. And like
so maybe he has sensed that.
Jake was like he was so like focused on winning, and
right?
Like,
yeah.
in his head, he probably like went to sleep every night and was like, "I'm gonna beat Tyler Severance," like,
which is hilarious because I'm just busy like getting high and like trying to find new girls, and I'm just like, all right, like. Guess I gotta go to Nationals again and try to get $500 from Yo-Yo Factory. Like,
this guy's coming after me. He goes on stage barefoot. I might be in trouble now.
yeah, I think that was the other thing is like the first year he competed, John Rob like definitely openly made fun of him. Was just like, bro, you can't be out here with no shoes on. Yo-Yo into what is that? Twisted Sister? You yo-yo into some weird air metal? We're not gonna take it. Like, you can't be doing that out here, bro. Like, and the next year he came back and like, yeah.
Yeah, I can see John Rob not feeling it.
Oh no. And he was very like openly cool with like vilifying people in that way. I remember the first time he met Richard Pickett and he was just like, who, like, what is the matter with y'all? Like him and like Richard and all of his friends were at the New York yo-yo contest like right after Worlds in 2007 or 2008, one of those years. He's like, you tell me none of y'all watch sports? Y'all some black kids from Harlem and none of y'all watch, or the Bronx, and none of y'all watch any sports? Like, what is this? I was like, shit. What the fuck, bro? Like, oh my god. We could do a whole John Rob episode too. We should get him.
You
know this.
Come on, dude.
Do a remote interview and just have him go over all the famous beefs. Him and Zamstrom, him and Richard Pickett,
Boxstore, right? I think.
Boxstore, yeah. Him and Boxstore was a little more, placating and fun, but it was just like very funny because they had like a going bet or something that like John Rob was gonna beat him at BAC.
Yeah,
and then like Matt got on stage and instantly like went through like 3 yo-yos in the first 30 seconds or something, and it was like. And then John Rob the rest of the time was like, "Yo, give me my money! Get off stage and give me that cash. That's my $50." It was something wild like that. All right, anything else from anyone else?
No,
you have a new yo-yo coming out you want to talk about, Kurti? Anytime soon?
Yeah.
Future? Go ahead.
I mean, we have a yo-yo. I don't have any protos, but
it's in production.
Yeah, like it's in production right now. But yeah, we have a yo-yo coming out that's like gonna have titanium caps.
Tie cap.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That's interesting.
Coming in the next month or so. I mean, no, not really. There's like Jeff Pang's done like titanium rings on some Lovework yo-yos.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, like, it actually changes the play pretty in a cool way.
Yeah, because titanium is way denser than aluminum, right?
But it's like not as dense as stainless steel.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see how it plays. And it's like the caps are like over half of the body weight.
Oh yeah,
so it's like super rim heavy,
yeah.
So
damn,
like
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that.
It's gonna be.
Is it a signature yo-yo or just a general?
It's just gonna be good life.
Nice.
Do you know the name for it yet?
I'm thinking Captivate.
Hey.
Oh my god,
that's honestly sick. I like that.
It is good. It's clever. Just like a very yo-yo jam name or something. I don't know.
I think there was a yo-yo jam called Captivate. Yeah,
that's funny.
I don't know. We're still cooking on the name, but
that's a good one though. I'm not trying to take it down
fine.
because of it. It just
caption could be cool or something. I don't know.
Caption would be dope.
There's a lot of plays. Yeah,
there are. It doesn't have to be a pun though. I don't know.
No, it's true. I don't know. I want to do something that's like just more, because we've been doing like a lot of signature yo-yos and collabs. So just excited to do something just good life.
Yeah. Last year, how many collabs did you guys do?
I mean, it was just 2. It was,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just like all the recent yo-yos we've done. Yeah,
That'll be
we just did the Dressel and Thesis collab.
Sick.
We call it the Tic Tac Cap Attack.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Something stupid.
At Capriati's, they have a
The Capriati's. Let's call it that.
They have a sandwich that's a pastrami sandwich, but it's called the capastrami.
Capastrami.
Yeah. We'll call it that.
We gotta make an edition.
We gotta
now.
do an episode
Got
of
a
just
big Reuben on the front.
There's got a collab going on. Yeah,
stupid yo-yo names. Like the
Oh my God.
that's hilarious.
I would love to do like some crazy negative tier list, but I just feel like people would not be ready for that.
No,
you know
I
what
meant like imaginary ones. But
Oh,
yeah, we
yeah,
could just
yeah.
shit on already made ones. But I was thinking like the Pussy Willow.
Pussy Willow.
That'd be a funny yo-yo name.
Oh my God.
Uh,
I got a collab with Yo-Yo Friends coming out called The Woodpecker.
Yeah, that's
fun.
great.
the Woodpecker. Remember AJ Kirk wanted to call his yo-yo the Blackjack?
Did you ever hear about this?
No.
So he wanted to call his yo-yo the Blackjack, right? Which would be short for back in the day when we abbreviated everything, like the freehand was FH, the hitman was HM, dark magic was DM, the blackjack would have been the
Oh yeah, the BJ.
BJ, right? But Dale is like 65 years old, doesn't know that, so Andre had to explain to him like, oh, the BJ is like slang for oral sex, and then Dale was like, oh, okay. But it was also pretty clever because an ace and a jack, an AJ is 21, so blackjack, but like. It would have been.
That would have been great. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Did he
So
get
check a lot of
He
marks.
got a signature yo,
It's
right?
called the Ringmaster.
The Ringmaster. It had like his face on or glasses on.
Yeah. God, that's so sad.
He got that way too late.
Oh,
he should have
yeah.
had that
Years
in
too
05,
late,
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, 05 was his year. He fucking killed it, man.
06, he won a lot of contests too. 2006.
He got third at Worlds in 06 too.
He got third at Worlds. He went to I think he won MWR maybe and won MAR.
He beat me at MAR, yeah.
It's kind of crazy the little run that he went on, and then like
Yeah.
the next year he was just kind of not doing anything. Like he really fell off the next year.
Yeah.
I mean.
Started using a Black Knight instead of that HG.
He got third with the Black Knight too. He got
Did he?
higher than John Narum ever did. John Narum finaled in 1A with the Black Knight in 2005 Worlds.
fucking
Isn't
crazy.
that wild?
Black Knight's a wild yo-yo. I wish I still had mine.
John Narum final in 1A 20 years ago.
He's on Monkey Finger now, or he joined, or he's starting to do 5A now. That's what I was thinking.
He's
of.
always done. He's done everything. He's a
You
jack
guys
of
are
all
teammates.
trades.
You're both on that 5A forever.
Oh yeah. Oh god. You guys are teammates. I love John Narum. John
No,
Narum's
me
a
too.
man. It's just
I love
funny
the
to
Black
think about.
Knight.
Yeah, John Narum's a man. That
Yeah.
video with Eminem is very good. Yeah.
And it's sick that he's still yo-yo. I mean, he's
Yeah.
not super active, but he's around. Like, not everyone.
He's more active than like a lot
That's
of
what I mean.
like, regular
Like,
yo-yo
he's been
players.
yo-yoing longer than us, basically. I mean, so that's crazy. You know,
Yeah. And that 4A freestyle he did at the time was like
it was so good.
it was, and it's like one of those freestyles that was ahead of its time in terms of choreography. Where
Yeah.
like at the time people were not.
What song did he
choreographed-
use?
The Rock Show, right, by Blink-182.
Yeah, yeah. He was very like on point with the
It's
music
crazy,
cues and
I
shit.
remember that, right?
And
Yeah.
that choreography. It was
Like
sick.
I'm sure if he did that freestyle now, like if like whatever 4A player. Like his vowels would be really good. Like
Yeah.
other than like originality or like whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Keep your eyes out for all of our new yo-yos. Buy some more yo-yos.
Yeah, we're gonna do this more often. We realized Kurti lives like 45 minutes from here, so gotta
I'll
hang
be
out
back.
more. Yeah,
I'll be back.
do
More
this.
za.
more pizza, more podcasting.
All right.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace. Bro, I think that